Welcome back to The Good Talk, our post-game recap and Q&A show where we discuss the game that we just played and answer all your burning questions, both Warhammer and otherwise. We appear to have levels down, which is fan-friggin-tastic. And we just came off of an amazing game between the forces of the Necrons against the Black Templars.
I just had a cascading snowball of mistakes in that game.
Lessons were learned.
Yeah. Okay, so what forced me into my huge mistakes was my threat range is smaller than yours. And
Really? Oh.
I thought, well, I'll just do it. Like, I'll just make it happen, right?
Sure, yeah.
And the reason my threat range is smaller is I have to get out and have a turn of being shot before I can really get to you, unless you come within my threat range, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to do that. You're just going to hang out because you pew pew. You get your Minears. You got Immortals that can drop down and shoot. You can pick up your Warriors and shoot me. So like, I have to expose myself for a turn in order to get reliable charges, and I didn't think that I could really stand a turn of getting shot. I think the Minears with the Silent King shooting could probably pick off a Redemptor if I gave you a turn shooting a Redemptor, and I needed to charge you in a bunch of places at once to make it actually profitable, because otherwise I'm just trading for whatever I charged, which won't be something valuable. So if a Redemptor goes into Scorpex, not only will he not kill them, as we saw, but then he dies. Or if a Redemptor goes into Warriors, he kills a few Warriors and then he dies, right? So I need to hit you everywhere at once, which you're not going to give me the opportunity to do unless I walk out and then you shoot me for a turn. So I thought, all right, we're just going to go for it. It's like 9s and 10s, but if I make my 9s and 10s, there's actually a shot. If the Blade Guard had made it into Scorpex, I think they could have killed Scorpex.
Yeah.
And now we got a game going.
That was a big inflection point for them, for sure.
And if the Vanguard Veterans had tied up your Warriors in the backside, that threatens your objective. And now, actually, I'm winning. If I make those two charges, I'm actually winning the game. And you have to work really hard to get out of that.
Yeah,
So, like, the mistake I made was trying to win. And then failing charges.
Interesting.
Oh, words of wisdom.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that is true, because that was a big turning point, big inflection point, because of the way that we had sort of positioned the first turn, especially. And yeah, unfortunately, they didn't pan out, and then was able to kind of capitalize on that.
Well, and there's a saying in Magic, which is don't play to not lose, play to win. Play to your outs.
Right.
Like if you have a path to victory, pursue that. Don't just play to not lose. And my play to not lose was to hide behind buildings the whole game and let you win.
Right.
Because then I lose by less.
Yeah.
And I had a shot where like I could have been careful with my characters and hedged and said, maybe I won't make these charges. In reality, if I didn't make the charges, I lose. So I should probably put my characters where I need to be to win.
Right.
Which I did. And then they all died. Because I didn't make the charge. But I played to my outs. I fought hard. I didn't try to lose, guys. I know Templars players are probably very disappointed in me watching that game.
You're learning, and you're learning the finesse of it, too.
You've had a few games with them, right? But
I don't think so.
Oh, this was your first?
I think it was.
Oh.
Well, exactly. And I know it's like I know you know Marines, but there can be things to kind of learn about that. Yeah. And it can be awkward with Necrons, too. With the, like you said, the kind of pacing of things. And they can be quite durable at range, and then they get in. So, I think you're all good.
They're like a
Lesson
weird...
learned on vows, by the way.
On vows.
Just take the good one.
Just take the
good one. Don't be cheeky.
Necrons are also like this weird faction, I feel like, right now, where like you stroll up to the table and you're like, oh, I've heard all the stories about these guys. Yeah. They're pushovers.
Right.
And, like, they're kind of
and then the Silent King just bops you on the head.
They have some all-stars.
Yeah.
Silent King.
But they also have like
Scorpex.
they also have things like 20 warriors, which is like gonna be a little harder to get through than you think, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think that is very true. Would you consider? Can you not take a vow?
No, you have to take a vow.
Okay, so in a matchup like this,
you can take the anti-Siger vow.
Right, I was gonna say,
which does absolutely nothing in most games.
Yeah, it's so awkward. Why they're too punishing for what they do.
There's the internal balance on vows is really bad because the best vow is by far the best. It's like the only two things you really want out of all of them. Like they're mostly multi-parts.
Yeah.
And one vow has the first and second pick for me out of all of the parts.
Yeah.
And then their first and second are by such a wide margin. They're just so much better than everything else.
And the downside is much smaller.
The smallest downside,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, can't get
Because the problem with most of the vows, including the one you had today and the psychic one, is they remove choices.
Right.
They physically stop you from doing things in the game.
Playing the game.
Whereas other ones, like, okay, your save might be a little bit worse, but you can still make your own decisions. This was like...
Big G says you don't have to
take a vow. Okay, here's what I would do. I would still take the good vow. Yeah. I would take the 5-up Maul, mini transhuman, no cover.
Yeah.
And then when you need, or when you want cover, let's say you have Blade Guard vets, who don't benefit from Armor of Contempt, you want the cover, they don't benefit from the invuln.
Right.
You just use the litany to put them into a different vow.
Yeah.
And then they can't fall back. Sure, that's fine. They get Assault Doctrine, which is good. They get Shock Assault, which is good.
They don't get Armor of Contempt.
They don't get Armor of Contempt, but that's like, I mean, you can't fix that. And now they're getting covered to 1-ups.
I do really like this tech of like one unit can get a different vow to sort of benefit or not benefit from a certain thing. I thought that was really interesting. And like, you killed the Miniers. Good on you.
I did.
But it was definitely going to be relevant if you failed to do that. So
right. Yeah, I definitely wanted that 5-up Invuln, but only on a couple models. Only like it was controlled. I could be like, oh, I only need it here, like right now. This Redemptor. I won't stick out the other Redemptor. Yeah. And I can stick one out, but
yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, and I like their Hulk out litany. It's cool.
Yeah, cool.
It's just not consistent at all.
It's so inconsistent. I think if you were a Master of Sanctity and you also gave the full rerolls to hit, and then you could also be looking for procs or whatever.
Yeah.
It's less spiky, maybe. I don't know.
But it's still, anytime you're fishing for 6, a strategy that relies on fishing for 6s on a small number of dice is a bad strategy.
Yeah, that's fair. Whereas you could just have +1 damage instead.
Right. You could just be White Scars for +1 damage, or you could have the regular Hulk out litany for +1 damage. Yeah.
That's interesting. Man.
And +1 attack.
Well, it was still a fun game. It was interesting, and Necrons were pretty cool. So I like them. I'm glad we got a chance to play them, and that was actually one of the reasons. One of the memes was like John, kind of deciding like when the votes go out and like controlling the votes and everything, because we had voted. John had written a vote for what we were going to play this week. And what he was saying was we're going to play literally during the week. And some members had interpreted that, what are we going to play on the member stream for this week? Right. So Necrons actually won, but we're like, well, look, we actually play Necrons a lot for members-only game. And we want to make sure that everyone, because we have a lot of people that love Necrons, which is great. But also, we want everyone to have Necrons.
Yeah.
Get the appreciation and the love that they honestly deserve. So
we might not have communicated that well enough.
He felt so
we've
bad.
Upset some people.
In the most John way, he was like, ugh.
Yeah. He internalized all of it.
Yeah, so that's funny. So I'm glad we got to do Necrons on a Saturday, which was fun. Well, I do believe we have some questions.
We do. Let's get to some questions here. Okay, let's find where we're at. Oh, what, Bridger?
I have some coding work to do. Now that, because I want to put gifted memberships in the thank you channel.
Yeah.
I got to do that. I got to figure out how they're...
Oh, because that's not going to show up there.
No, because this is just tracking super chat events.
Right.
Interesting.
So I got some work to do.
Cool.
Well, thank you, Sean, for an RTT next week, bringing Dark Harlequins, thinking on running 2 Seers, one with Ghoul Mask, one with Laughing God Eye, Troop Master with King and Storied Sword. Thoughts on how they will handle Knights and Tyranids?
Yeah, so... Sorry, can you click back on
yes.
this? I need to
He immediately hit, no, don't cover chat. What are you doing?
I'm not going to cover chat.
Laughing God Eye, I think, is essential. That is the 5-up Feeling Pain against Mortal Wounds in a bubble. Absolutely essential for Harlequins. And then you don't have to take the Psychic Power, which is just 6-up against everything. It's not that crazy. And I think King and Story Sword, yeah, I like it. I also like the -1 attack bubble. It's good against Knights because Knights already have a low volume of attacks. And so if you can ruin that efficiency, like an Armor Girl only has 4 attacks base. If you can take that down to 3, it's even better. I think that in some ways they're going to struggle against Knights because Knights are going to be T7 and T8, so you're wounding on 5s and 6s. But things to keep in mind. Big squads can do a ton of mortal wounds. They can ignore invulns which only matters for, I think, like some of the troop masters could be interesting because you can have the Imperial Knights running around with a 4+ invuln. So ignoring that will be useful, especially with Dark.
What's the AP3, right?
It is. Would this have to be a certain weapon? Yeah, so it'll be 2 going to 3 with Dark.
Yeah. Because Imperial Knights have that strat for 2-up armor in combat.
Yeah, which is important too. Dark is the extra
gross.
AP in Fight on Death, right? So that's pretty essential. And Fighting on Death is interesting against the Knights. The toughest thing I think with Knights is the prevalence also of -1 damage and OBSEC.
Yeah.
So I think it's tough, honestly. Unless you're running 9 Void Weavers, I think it's going to be tough. Having said that, I think the 9 Void Weaver will lose in other matchups because you have nothing left of your army. So.
Do you think? I mean, where does Haywire sit? Let's say Knights are dominant, which I don't think they currently are, but in a world where they are, where top table, between you and top table that you're guaranteed to hit Knights, do you bring Haywire bikes, maybe 1 squad? Is that on the table?
It's on the table if you're running light
but not
you can
dark.
advance and shoot.
Yeah.
But not dark. I've said it before, my gripe with Haywire is it sucks against regular infantry.
Right.
Or like anything that's not a vehicle.
And
It's really low strength. There's one Haywire that actually is high strength, and I can't remember which one it is. But everything else, I'm not crazy about. Yeah.
There you go.
Best of luck. Have fun.
Yeah. Good luck. And thank you, Hamsterdam. Hey, Titans, robot voice. Go, Necrons, beep, boop.
Hey, you did a voice.
Yeah, I'll do
Zach,
a robot
I'm proud
voice.
of you.
Good job.
And Hamsterdam, I'm excited to meet this guy. We're going to meet him next week. He's at the AOS.
Cool.
Nice.
BAO
man.
AOS thing, yeah.
Sounds great.
He's bringing like an insane amount of Blood Knights.
Oh, cool.
Like 25 Blood Knights.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Amsterdam's list.
Cool.
Yeah. And thank you, Caldor Drago's left arm. Sup, fam? Just popping in before work to say, hi, John, you're a fiend. He's not even here, but we'll make sure he already knows that. But we'll just confirm it with him. No Dice Bridger.
Yep.
Oh, that hair and shirt, Adrian. And I don't know, Zach, that hot take was pretty hot just in general. Can't wait to watch this back at work. I don't think I had any hot takes yet.
You just did a voice. That was a hot take.
That's not a hot take. That's...
You not doing a voice.
You're
You guys are trying
it.
to bait me into a hot take right now. I know.
You're in it was a hot take for sure.
In it. Caldor Drago's left arm. As
In
always,
it.
appreciate the support and the love. Hopefully you have a good time at work.
Yeah.
And what do we say back to them?
Do we?
Good job.
Oh. Thank you, Siege Roots, as always. So, actual rules question.
Okay.
Bridger with Gene Wrought Might on the Chaplain, how would it have interacted with the exploding
So Gene Wrought Might is Primaris strat, 6s to hit, auto wound. Mm-hmm. They have FAQ'd that exploding attacks, or anytime an attack generates extra hits or extra attacks, they don't count as anything.
As if
they don't have a dice value, so they are not 6s. The first 6 auto wounds, and then you have 2 extra hits that don't auto wound, and you have to roll the wound with them. So that's that.
They're just hits. They're just...
Yeah. They didn't...
Now,
yeah.
I have a question. You used this really clever term, dice value.
I did?
You said they don't have a dice value.
Okay, yeah.
And I'm not trying to rag on GW here. Did they use the term dice value? Because that's a really good term, but it doesn't sound like something they would use.
I don't know.
Because that's like an amazing term, no dice value.
I can't quote the FAQ verbatim, but I can tell you the intention or the meaning of the FAQ, which is...
Bridger should write FAQs, I think, actually.
Oh.
He'd be pretty good at it. That's a hot take. There's my first hot take.
Sorry?
Well,
it was nice, and then he called it a hot take. As if it was surprising that he'd be
well,
good
look,
at it.
I thought you were either going to be like, oh, definitely. But you were like, and then I was like, no, you know what? There's probably more people that agree with that Adrian than the other Adrian I was imagining happening.
I think GW just needs more consistent templating. The rules wouldn't be so hard to understand if they did reminder text ever, and they did templating. They just lack reminder text in most scenarios where it's like, here's the rules text, and then also, let's just clarify this one, like, just in case you were curious.
Yeah.
Here's some reminder text.
They had this idea of the designer's note, which for a while was like an FAQ before it was really an FAQ, like a question they were anticipating.
Yeah.
I know in Sigmar, like in the Kronspine on his data sheet, there's like 2 or 3 designer notes that are like, remember, even if he's not in your army, he still has to charge and you still have to fight.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think I've seen that in like the Craft World book or the Tau book. Like that's kind of what you're talking about.
They do it, but not as a parenthetical. So like they just sometimes put reminder text in the rules text where it's like you can come in from reserves 1 turn earlier. This ignores all mission rules that they should just put in parentheses. You can come in. This does mean you can come in turn 1.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. That's like the designer's notes. I guess they haven't started doing that.
No,
I don't know if I've seen that yet.
I think what it is a general reticence to partially rules bloat, but really what it is to have the same thing printed multiple times.
Right.
And in one typo can throw them all off.
Yeah.
So I think it's a reticence to that. Not saying that's the right decision, but I
mean,
think that's
if they keyworded things and templated it, then they wouldn't need to do that. If like coming in to turn earlier was a keyword, then they put the reminder text or the template of what does that mean. Then it's not rules bloat because you see the keyword and you're like, oh, you come in a turn earlier.
Yeah, I wish people could just play to the like rules as intended.
Right. Yeah.
You know, because at the end of the day, like designer's notes should be helpful, not hurtful.
Right.
But I understand why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can't be as easy as it seems, right?
Yes.
Like
still to this day, the crazy rulings that people think are okay. Or lack of rulings, or it's like we're like 2 years into this edition.
Yeah.
Every time it's been clearly like the intent is what it is. Every single time.
Yep.
Thank you, Trey. How can Games Workshop make Khorne demons good without stepping on Nurgle or Slaaneash's identities? Can fighting well be a foundation for an army without either durability or speed?
Well, there's different ways to fight well.
Okay.
You can have a quantity of attacks, which I would attribute to Slaanesh. I think Slaanesh puts out a lot of attacks.
Yeah.
Hits generally pretty well.
Has fight first.
Has fight first. Doesn't necessarily wound very well, but when they wound, it can hurt. But like Khorne, I think of as like high strength, high AP, might ignore invulns, high damage, like quality of attacks.
Oh, interesting.
That's what I think.
Yeah, I feel like my first instinct with these two design spaces is Khorne would be somewhere in between, which is probably kind of what you're saying. Like, they're not going to be as durable as Nurgle, but not as movement fast as Slaanesh. I wouldn't expect to see a lot of fight first, I don't think.
Right, no, I don't think they should have fight first. I don't think they should be super durable. They should just be average demon durable.
I think the stat line, just like the datasheet stat line for their attacks should just be the best.
Yes, they should have quality of attacks, whereas Slaanesh has quantity of attacks
and tricks.
Guarantees to like get there. Like they're going to advance in charge, they're going to make it.
Right.
But that doesn't mean Khorne shouldn't have ways to get into combat. Like they should have you kill a unit, you go into deep strike. Like that would be kind of cool, right? Like they a mist of blood, and they disappear, right?
What about this? What if all Khorne units had this rule? Khorne cares not from whence the blood flows.
Yeah.
Fight on death.
Ooh,
yeah, fight on death seems very Khorne.
It's dark in it.
Yeah.
They don't care. He doesn't care. Everyone's fighting. Everyone's dying. It's all good.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
You know, or like the
World Leaders should get that
Gospel
too.
charge, which was an automatic 8-inch charge. Not an automatic 9-inch charge.
Right.
Of course, the banners might have to be adjusted.
Yeah. Well, that could be what the banner does. Is it's an automatic 8.
Right. Like something like that. And 8, of course, because
Khorne's numbered.
Yeah.
I think there's definitely design space to make them interesting without stepping on these.
I think so.
Yep.
toes.
Although I will say, Juggernauts should have power armor.
Sure.
Like actually,
the guys, the riding guys.
The mounts, which are literally made of metal.
Yeah.
Like Khorne should be the faction that has access to power armor.
Yeah.
Like
what are they right now?
Armor,
That's interesting.
What are they right now? 4 up, 5 up?
They're 4-ups.
Which is
And they were
heavy
5-ups
armor
for a
from
long time.
fantasy. So that's why.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like magical heavy armor. Like come on.
Well, that's where their
Dinos.
demon save comes from.
I know there's a naked guy on top, but whatever. Anyway, sorry.
Well, thank you, Blake. Earlier, Brian, our Brian was in chat, and Blake added him and said, "This is for Brian Pullen in chat. What are your current hobbies? When Zach reads this later, thanks to your entertainment while I paint Necrons."
Yeah.
Now we kind of handled this. Brian did
What did he say?
Brian gave some answers.
I'm curious.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you guys Brian's answers, but then I promised Blake also that we would just make up what hobbies we think Brian does.
Oh, should we do that first before you tell us his actual hobbies?
Okay. What do I just make one up anyway. Okay.
Yeah. Well,
I already had
don't
one.
spoil
Actually,
it for us.
oh yeah, you guys go.
I'm saying we should come up. We should.
Yeah.
And then you can say what his actual hobby. I think like kite sailing.
Kite sailing?
Oh.
What about kite fighting?
Pickleball.
Pickleball. You think Brian plays pickleball?
Yeah.
Like in a league down there?
Yes.
Like in a league?
Is that a wait? Hold on. Hot take from Zach.
Yeah.
You don't think Brian plays pickleball? That is like a middle-aged rich person thing to do.
I kind of think he doesn't play pickleball. I kind of think he bets on high ally.
Okay.
Sure.
All right.
Wait,
you know,
highlight?
You know high ally
No.
is? Do you know high
it's
ally
the
is?
world's most dangerous sport.
Oh.
You have these scoops. It's the sport with like the scoops, and you're like throwing the balls. You're not
It's
actually trying to hit
a
each
hard
other.
rubber ball,
Oh.
and they throw it at like
Yeah.
over 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, because it's like accelerate. It's like.
Yeah.
It's pretty much only played like actually it's down to basically Miami, but I think it still has a little bit of Caribbean presence. It's like a Spanish.
It's
So he bets on high stakes highlight.
wild sport.
I think Brian would bet on high ally.
Yeah.
Pickleball though, yeah, I see it. I just think he'd go a little further.
More intense.
You think he would personally, but he would bet, right? He would.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's it. He needs it to be
Okay.
more intense,
Yeah.
but without any harm to himself. Even pickleball,
Right.
I think even pickleball, Brian's like maybe a little too dangerous for me personally.
Wow, calling
Called
Brian
out.
I'm not even like. It's not even the other thing. It's just that he's afraid of pickleball. Jeez.
Look, Brian is like. When I met him, he was like a Tau player, Thousand Suns player. He like does not want to get his hands dirty. He likes the idea of everybody else in front of him playing the high ally.
That's definitely how he plays
That's
Warhammer,
fair.
for
Yeah.
sure.
What do you think?
Like I was thinking, like maybe he's like really into like artisanal gelato or something.
Like he makes
That-
it or he just eats it?
That's not even fake, Adrian. We know he does like that is already how Brian is.
That's true. That's true.
Okay, but
He's into artisanal fast food in general.
No,
So-
in desserts, he's like a truffle pig for desserts. He's like, you want to
He
get some
is.
cookies? I'm like, you know what? I actually do want to go get some cookies.
I want to see you find us some cookies, and I'm gonna tag along.
to
Yeah.
clarify,
yeah.
no making, just eating. Because I would argue that's not a hobby.
That's not a hobby.
You can't just say I recreationally eat. Everybody eats. You can't recreationally eat.
Yeah.
Or if you do, it's incredibly unhealthy.
that is
They would call themselves foodies usually,
yeah, food.
which is really pretentious because it basically says, yeah, you just.
It
eat.
says everything else
It
is
is.
not
He's like,
food.
my eating is so noteworthy that we're gonna
Right.
talk about it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
cool. Well, I have
Yeah.
words for you. You know.
I mean,
my hobby I was gonna make up was just that I think he's super busy. We know this. He's got a lot going on. I think he just goes down to a nearby beach and just like takes coconut halves and like I think just plays like a game. Just like plays a game with them that he's
We all know
making
it's
up.
about guppies.
It's guppies. He's like making up a guppy style game with
for
coconut halves and hermit shell.
You were gonna say he
hermit
lays
crabs.
on the beach and does nothing, but then you took a sharp left turn.
I don't see him being able to do that.
I feel like. Do you think they have a Burger King?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I feel like he does Fight Club in Burger King playgrounds.
Fight Club in the playground.
Yeah.
Like he
He like really
Like he takes
late
his
night-
daughter in.
No,
Like that's how he
no.
gets into the Fight Club, and then
No, like him, like he's just like
he's in there.
fights kids.
no, not the kids.
Brian fights kids at Burger King, Bahamas,
Adrian,
Caribbean.
they do not
fast
let
food
you
restaurant.
into the playground without a kid. So the kid is your token to enter. There's a kids area in the
What
corner,
if it's
and then
closed,
the
though?
adults are fighting.
Like, this is after hours Burger King Fight Club.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure if a lot of fast food workers would take money if you just gave them money to bribe them to go into.
That makes it much
is so
worse.
dark.
Zach.
These are all
That
horrible.
is so much worse for so many reasons.
Betting on highlight is the least offensive thing we've come
Yeah.
up with.
Let's go back to that first one.
Gelato.
Gelato.
Yeah.
I just said gelato. Okay.
What he was actually doing though was just Legos.
Oh yeah,
Right.
dude,
I knew that actually.
I had a brief stint in Lego.
Yeah.
I built the Colosseum,
Oh.
which was tedious.
Yeah.
It's their largest set in terms of number of pieces.
Totally.
Lego's very expensive. It is not
It is
a hobby
super expensive.
for the weak of wallet.
Yeah.
Didn't super enjoy the Colosseum. Before that, I did the Discovery Shuttle.
That's
That
what
was
you
a
just
cool
said.
one. I really enjoyed the Discovery Shuttle, and I want to get the Millennium Falcon next. And I wish I had gotten it instead of the Colosseum, because the Colosseum is very repetitive. You basically make a wall section 80 times,
Yeah.
and it's very slightly different every time. But you basically make the same wall section 80 times, and then they go together in a cool way. But
And how big is it?
oh, it's huge. It's like
It's also awkward to like.
it's massive.
You just like have, like.
It's just on my
It's just like.
Do you?
Table
It's an
now.
awkward
Do you guys
thing to show.
Do you guys think I'm on the lookout for a good decompressing hobby?
yeah.
Do you think building Lego. I don't want to have Lego.
Yeah,
in my house.
it's very
It's just
relaxing.
More stuff
like
in my house.
it's therapeutic in the same way that like painting is therapeutic.
To me, it feels like building.
But I paint like 16 hours a day, so I need something different.
You can build models. That's like.
To me, it's too hobby adjacent to what we do.
That's what I'm gonna guess.
You know?
That's gonna happen.
It's just
Probably.
like kind of. It feels like more of the same, but then with the Warhammer stuff, I'm used to like doing a thing with it afterwards.
Right.
Whereas like if you're there's obviously many ways to play with Legos.
Yeah.
But like a lot of people, like you'll build the thing and then you'll like have the thing displayed, right? And like that's it. And like it's so close. I'm like, but
it doesn't.
Am I gonna like
doesn't
do the
anything.
Warhammer with it? So it's too close for me.
That was another thing I was very disappointed with the Colosseum is there's no moving pieces. None of it does anything. There's no hidden like secrets. It's just an accurate model. It's like a scale model of the Colosseum. Whereas the Discovery Shuttle, there's all these moving pieces. You can like turn the flaps on the wings and you can like pop the landing gear out and all this stuff moves and it's cool.
Yeah.
And the Colosseum just sits there. And I'm like,
cool.
This isn't, I mean,
that's like,
it's not a toy.
Yeah,
it's very much not a toy.
It feels like a toy though. That one doesn't feel like a display piece.
The Colosseum?
Have you seen the flowers, the bouquets of flowers?
I have.
They're beautiful.
I haven't seen like anyone build it. I've just seen like a finished product.
It's like a work of art. It's crazy beautiful.
Yeah.
I want to get some of those, honestly, because they just look cool. Also, because like Mel likes the look of flowers, but,
but the flowers die.
So like here, have some dead things, you know? Right. Lego flowers, they look sick and they never die.
Lego terrain bat rep. You can't play on. That's a lot. That would be the most expensive set of terrain we've ever. Titans Terrain, very cheap alternative to Lego Terrain.
Order at titansterrain.com on the Kickstarter for the next week and a half. Get it while you can. Yeah.
Yeah, if those are your two options, Titans Terrain or Lego's Terrain, you should definitely absolutely pick Titans Terrain. You will regret Lego's Terrain, especially when you drop one of them.
The next thing I was like, that means we also need Lego armies to play on the Lego Terrain.
And they're gonna like be stuck on them.
How cool would that be?
That, I mean, somehow we found a way to make Warhammer more expensive than Warhammer, but it also sounds really cool.
It would be so cool. Oh my god.
And then instead of inches, it's pegs on the. You could like.
Yes.
Oh my god.
We could look. If custodians wouldn't be that many. Imagine a Lego Telemon.
Oh,
Telemon
Lego.
is like very set up to be a Lego.
Why is there not a Lego 40K crossover?
I'm surprised because I'm constantly shocked at the things that they make Lego. And I know it's a thing that like is like traditionally for kids, but as it's matured, adults enjoy it too. Yep. And so I understand there's a market. There's a big market.
50 Shades of Grey Legos? What's that?
Wait, what?
Like actually?
Is that really a thing?
I'm just kidding.
No, but they did.
I know that. I know.
But we kind of believed you. Yeah.
And I'm like,
Friends. They made the Friends set, and I'm like,
kid wants to play the Friends set?
Dude, kids love Friends. When I was teaching, like all these kids loved Friends. I was like, I watched that when I was your age, and they were
like, how young are these people?
They were like middle like school? These two brothers were like middle school, like maybe 7th and 9th grade.
Huh.
That's crazy.
And they were just watching it on their phone with their mom.
I'm just curious about the overlap, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I mean, but Lego, I don't think is really catering to a rational audience anymore. Lego is catering to people who just love Lego. Like the globe that they made, they're pushing this globe hard, man.
Well, that's what
and
I
it's
mean. Like,
the least exciting thing to everyone, except Lego aficionados, who are like, yes, I need one of everything, give me the globe. But the globe, it's so boring. Have you seen their globe?
No.
It's just a blocky globe. And the countries pop out a little bit, and you're like,
how big is it?
It's globe size.
Is it hollow?
I think.
How is it round?
Lego, man, they're good at. I mean,
they are really
it's
good.
Like interesting that they were able to do it. It's not interesting to look at past the like engineering feat of making a globe out of Lego.
Yeah.
It's like it's not a toy. It's not a cool nostalgia thing.
Yeah.
It's like, what is it? Why did they make this?
I think they're a fascinating company, honestly.
I
want to know like everything about how they run stuff. And
did you know that unopened Lego sets are used as a currency in black markets?
What?
Because they hold their value basically forever. So that people, rather than like trying to launder money, because you have to like launder money when you get it illegally, they just trade unopened Lego sets.
That is
as a currency.
Probably the most amazing thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, but you can't like take an open Lego set to Safeway and get like some groceries.
That's why it's a black market, Zach. That's not. Did you miss the?
No, I didn't miss it. But like laundering.
No, but
money
you can very easily sell Lego sets.
You take that and you
sell.
So
you sell that in the real
because they keep their value forever.
So I see. Okay.
Arguably goes up.
Right.
Interesting.
Well, welcome to Lego Titans, where we just talk about Lego.
Yeah. Thank you, Super Reedy. Just a quick heads up on the Valerian Alea situation. They're done, but it's going to be a week before I can ship them. I'm sure you don't want COVID germs in the box. I'm doing okay. Don't panic.
Okay. Well,
we're glad that you're okay. Yeah. I'm excited. I'm actually really excited for Valerian Alea.
Yeah.
It's one of the few Custodes things we don't have. And I'm shocked that we didn't get COVID in England because so many people did.
It's pretty crazy.
We dodged it, man.
Yeah. That wasn't really bad. 10 more days. Paying for a hotel.
Yeah, because I guess we just can't get back in.
You literally can't. We have to be quarantined for 10 days.
I think what I was going to try to do, I was starting to form a plan if we weren't able to get back in, was you can go to Canada without taking a test, and then you can just drive across the border.
Oh my god.
That was my plan.
Bridger's plan, not my plan.
Fly to Vancouver.
It was not an official stance.
I was going
to unofficial
fly to Vancouver, drive to Seattle, fly home.
Knowing that you had COVID. That's the problem. You've opened up Pandora's box.
There's no, yeah, but
it's
there's
not
no.
Like, oh, I didn't get a test. It's like you know you have it.
But it's lose-lose because in England they have no rules and you just wander around and give people COVID anyway.
You know what happened? You'd get back home. You'd be at home and you go to a Target and there'd be a Lego set that's like the time Bridger snuck back into the U.S. with COVID. And it's like you, and like you're like you've got like your passport.
Like, who's the market for?
It's me in a car at a checkpoint on the border.
As a Mountie.
That's amazing.
Giving you a thumbs up.
Wait, Lego thumbs
with
up?
his Lego hand.
He's like,
oh yeah.
Oh man, that was the hottest take we've had all week.
Whoa, that was a fast turnaround. Okay, thank you, the Hytorian. Don't feel bad about your Marines getting slaughtered. That's what they do against Necrons, especially when you try to out-melee Novak. What could you bring for a rematch?
No,
what
honestly,
would you bring for a rematch?
Like, I think there were a few things that went wrong for me, and if those had gone right, I had a good chance of winning the game.
Yeah.
Like, Space Marines still hit incredibly hard when they get there.
Yeah.
And if they don't get there, they used to be incredibly durable, and now they're, like, pretty durable, but everything in the game is so
But do you think it's like a matchup where the burden is on you to flip the script from the start? Like if he just sits back and does his Necron things.
Yes. Yeah. So it's I mean, but that is Space Marines. They're generalists, and when they go against a specialist and try to beat them at their thing, like Space Marines within have specialisms. Blood Angels and Templars are good at combat. Iron Hands and Ultramarines are good at shooting. But even the specialized versions of Space Marines aren't as good as armies that are entirely specialized at doing a thing. Like, Necron shooting, when they try to shoot, they shoot better than Space Marines. Right? They're going to be hitting on twos, they have higher AP, higher strength, pretty much across the board. That's what they're good at. Or Tau, maybe a better example. Combat, like when Space Marines try to out-combat Custodes, they don't. They don't do it. It's very hard, right? There are combat armies, or Harlequins, or Drukhari. There are combat armies, sisters, that will just out-combat combat Space Marines. And so, like, I was combat Space Marines trying to out-combat combat Necrons, which, like, they're not, like, the best at it, but they're pretty good at it. And I think it was, like, a 50-50. It was a knife-edge matchup.
Yeah, I agree with that. And the cards also kind of forced us into a...
Yep.
It forced us further into that stalemate where I'm like, I'm happy to be here and you have to make the move, right? And that can happen too. But I agree. I think the tools were there. It's just figuring out the right way to deliver them.
And the vow that I had was very punishing. Once you start to lose, it removes any play that helps you not lose.
Yeah, you're like,
I'm glad we tried it and showed it.
Yeah.
We have literally never done that.
We never tried it, yeah.
But now we know.
Now we know. Just do the good one.
Also, Super Reedy said, I'm pretty sure this is damaging for the brain.
Yeah.
Look.
I gotta agree there.
It's satire, okay? I wasn't gonna do it.
Oh, man.
It's all for, this is a comedy show.
YouTuber.
Like,
it was a satire.
I have defense in court, okay?
This is not actual news. It is for entertainment
Look,
purposes.
I didn't do it, all right?
Thank you, Hamsterdam. Hey, Titans. I have an etiquette tournament question. Busy with work, and I'm going to be traveling to BAO. Do not think I'm going to be able to finish painting my army. Is that okay, or should I just shut up and paint? Well, since I know exactly what you're going to, and I know the TO for it, I'm going to tell you what you don't want to hear. which is that you need to shut up and paint.
Is this for AOS or for?
Yeah, literally,
Frankly, both.
Yeah, it doesn't matter exactly.
They will pull the models.
And so actually, it's one of these answers. You don't have to. You can go ahead and bring your unpainted models. It's just that you won't be able to use them.
Okay, so it depends on like what do you mean you're not gonna finish?
Yeah.
Like
Correct.
your standard for what you think is allowed to be played on the table and their standard might not be the same. Maybe you're being harder on yourself. You're trying to paint the models to a higher standard than is required. Maybe you can take some shortcuts there. But any individual model that is clearly not painted will not make it on the table.
Yeah.
That, as Adrian's saying, that is just a rule. It's in the player pack. John, our friend John F is the TO. He's gonna have you pull them.
Yeah.
And I consider him a super nice guy, but that's the rule. And what I will say is, I think what Bridger's saying is true. Like, there's probably some things you're taking 25 Blood Knights, right? There are probably some things you can do to paint them so they're ready for Saturday, a week from today, but still okay for you when you come back home to add to them, right? Like
it's not quite the 3-color minimum that it used to be, but it can be pretty close. You know, make sure you have colors on it, and it looks like you put effort. If you don't have every detail painted or all the straps painted,
right,
it's gonna be totally fine. But if you don't at least have that, then they will get pulled. So.
Yeah.
Is he running a zombie dragon? Because that's a lot of surface area to paint.
Probably.
In my time attempting to paint a zombie dragon, took me like a week just to paint the zombie
It's a lot
dragon.
of flesh. No, because he's got how many Blood Knights?
25.
25?
I think there's room for a zombie dragon then.
Yeah.
They're crazy
What
expensive.
else? I don't even know what
It's
else.
like the whole list, basically.
What else could you put in
They're
there?
so expensive.
They're pricey. Well, good luck, Amsterdam. And thank you, Dungeon Master. Evening Titans just finished assembling 5 more Scarabacol Terminators. My 1,000 Suns are slowly taking shape. How are yours coming along? Now time to sit back and relax for the rest of the stream.
They're coming along well, actually. One day you guys are going to show up and we're actually going to have 2,000 Suns armies.
That's probably not correct.
You know what's funny? I actually recruited Mel a little bit because I'm at the gold trim portion of things. And she likes actually doing that kind of stuff to an extent.
Same.
Yeah,
Really?
exactly.
Same.
And she was looking at it, she was like shocked. She's like, this is not an Adrian army. This is a Mel army. Because it's like it's like the blue tone, and then I have like the pink undertone,
which
with
looks
gold
super
trim,
cool.
and it's like fabulous. So I'm gonna try to recruit her to do some
That trim it just slows you down. It really does. More than almost anything else I can think of. And I just painted 40 Witch Elves, so like, I think the trim is probably the number one thing that just like, I mean, it's like I don't know, an episode of like Better Call Saul goes by and I have like 2 done. I'm like, what?
Oh, you can get 2 in that time.
I know. Like what?
Which, by the way, is that show finished? Did they finish it?
No, it has 1 more season. Wait, in real life it might be, but Netflix is like a season behind.
That's what I noticed. Yeah, because I had heard that it finished, and then Netflix.
It's kind of 6 seasons. Season 5 is up on Netflix.
Yeah, and season 6 is maybe done.
In the real life, maybe.
On AMC?
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna see the end of it, and then it was like, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah,
Guess I'm finishing Ozark instead.
Yeah, we thought that too.
Did you watch? I haven't.
The end of it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we were in England when it came out.
Ozark?
Yep.
Yeah, it was good.
I don't have the heart to sit down and watch like another 6 hours of anything. Can't do it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Huh. Which is weird because I'm now like, 40 hours invested into this?
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, yeah.
It's good. I feel like, actually, both of these shows, without spoiling anything, season 2-ish, when they kind of, you have like the big first kind of thing, you're like, it's kind of like,
how can they top that?
How can you top that?
Yep.
And it kind of peaks, and then it settles at this like nice level where it's like, there actually is some changing of like cast and like things, it feels sustainable. And I started enjoying it again.
Yeah, Dungeon Master, I don't know that I find that technique easier.
What?
Priming the trim or like airbrushing the trim color and then going in. It's so like 6 of one, half dozen of the other.
And it's also like depending on what you want to get. Like I said, mine is like the 2-tone of like the top and the bottom, which you can't do. You're not gonna do that panel by panel.
Yeah. No, absolutely not. Thank you, Grim Dorkness. First time catching you guys live. Thanks for all the great content over the past couple of years.
Welcome.
I have the start of a Chaos Space Marine army, but I'm undecided on Black Legion, Night Lords, or or Alpha Legion? Any advice?
Oh, they're all so cool.
Oh. Can we secret option number 4 World Eaters? Is that
You can.
an option? Because, like, that's been announced. The World Eaters are coming out, guys. Like, get excited.
I would say, I guess, like, Black Legion is almost sort of like, could have any play style.
Sure.
These other two then are sort of like, I don't know that World Eaters is quite, Night Lords could be, I don't know.
Sorry, what are you saying?
I'm saying, like, play style, like, these three could lead into, similar play style. Or have
Night Lords, Alpha Legion, and World Eaters?
Yeah, to some degree.
Night Lords and Alpha Legion, maybe.
Black Legion's so generic almost. It can almost. Could you not? Well, I don't.
Currently,
right?
Yeah. I would say Black Legion because they cover the most diverse number of play styles.
Yeah.
And without knowing your play style, Grim Darkness,
Yeah.
I would do that. It's cool. It's evergreen. You got Abaddon. You know, I'm sure they're gonna get some love.
Yeah, get Abaddon.
Yeah. That would be my
cool
vote.
model.
My vote would be probably realistically what Adrian said, but also I would just say Alpha Legion because I think they're the coolest. And they're annoying, and that's my play style. To just do annoying things. And they'll probably, yeah, exactly.
You cannot shoot me.
Yeah, I'm taking these guys off the table. They'll be back on later. Have fun screening that out.
Oh my god, it's not even good. You just keep doing it. It's just annoying.
You can't keep getting away with this.
Thank you, Daniel. You know, Daniel, I did check to see if you had sent a message, not as a super chat, but I didn't see it. So if you did, please send me something on Discord, me, Bridger, Adrian, any of us, and we'll get you.
Yep.
Thank you, Troy. Hey guys, I got a Khorne the Betrayer. I want to send you for when the World Eaters Codex comes out. How do I send him to you?
Okay, so what I've realized in the past few weeks is, you remember when we first moved to the studio and we just accidentally told everybody our address?
Yeah, we docked
and
ourselves.
it became common knowledge.
Yeah.
It's been a year.
I know.
And a lot of our fans don't know where we live, where we are.
Yeah.
So we should find a way to publish this information that is more accessible. Because in the past few weeks, we've gotten people asking, like, how do I send you stuff?
Yeah.
And that's an easy answer. It's, well, I mean, I'm going to say the address, but that's not necessarily. So it's 2005 De La Cruz Boulevard, Suite 131, or number 131. That is in Santa Clara, California, 95050. But me saying that is not the easiest thing. We should have it typed out somewhere.
Yeah, we should.
I just don't know how to, like, effectively communicate our address to
We could
people.
probably put it in the About section.
Yeah, does anybody read the... Hands up in chat. Do you read the About section?
That's 0 hands.
No hands
No
raised.
hands been raised.
It's kind of a problem with YouTube, is like it's hard to communicate basic facts about a channel, but
Huh, interesting.
the About section is what...
I would look
should-
at the About section.
Yeah, but a lot of people just don't.
Fair enough.
Thank you, damn it. Necrons still no. What is this?
Acanthrites.
Acanthrites are Seraptic heavy constructs, though.
Yes.
I wait with bated breath for them to make tabletop debut. Also, where are you all taking your Primarch hubbies to celebrate the release of 30K?
That one looks like it says Primarch Chubby.
It does. I thought I saw it earlier.
Then you were like, hubbies.
Primarch Chubbies. 2 H's.
Yeah, so still not yet, although I did order some new Necron stuff. We'll get them. It's just a question of getting around to them. Frankly, I still have a bunch of Necron stuff to be put together, especially from Cobra, that just didn't get done at the time. So
The Synaptic Heavy Construct, I think, is one of the coolest models.
it's really cool. Well, it's like one of the newest Forge World things. You know,
Yeah.
it's a few years old now, but
Yeah.
as far as 40K Forge World,
so cool.
It's pretty new.
It's crazy cool.
But you know what else is cool?
taking your Primarch Chuggy
It's not for 40K, but the Blood Angel Jetpack Dreadnought that is newer than the Seraptic Constructs.
So cool. We saw it in...
Oh, we saw it in person,
Yeah, it was like...
Yeah, it was very cool.
So where would we take our Primarch Chubbies to celebrate the release of 30K?
So I'm still with Corsaro Con, yeah?
Yep.
You know what I really like about 30K is they have all these cool custom units. I wish 40K had more custom units for like chapters and stuff.
Yes.
So like the the White Scars jet bikes are so cool.
They're really cool.
Yeah. So I would go hang out like a biker rally with.
So you would invite yourself over to hang out with his friends.
Yeah.
Or
that's who you are.
Or you're like, hey, let's just go to this random biker rally and see how that goes.
And he's in charge of all of them. And
That's
it's
where
a
I
little
would take
awkward.
a chubby.
Let's show you. Yeah, I can't.
Okay, guys. Maybe my answer was terrible. Where are you going, huh?
I know you're.
Yeah,
you're
it's
not
not
wrong.
so easy,
It's
is
not
it?
easy. I don't know. Oh my
Who are you with,
gosh.
Magnus?
I guess.
I guess.
Oh no, Zach, he's gonna kill you.
I really don't know.
The library.
The library.
No, you can't.
I don't
celebrate
even like
30K?
the library. You guys
You
know
can read the rule
You guys
books?
know I hate reading.
You do hate reading.
You do hate reading. But you're with Magnus, who can just beam the information into your head.
Oh, okay.
You can read. You can do story time.
I'm not sure I like that
Aw.
You
either.
should go to Barnes and Noble and go to the kids section
What? Why
I should,
the kids
actually.
section?
It's just somebody
because
there
they
that
do like
reads.
story times there.
Yeah, I would
You
do
just
that.
see Magnus sitting on a
don't-
tiny stool. and he's
I don't
got a
even
book.
need Magnus to do that. I can just go do that on my own.
Well, I would go to Chili's.
to celebrate 30K?
No explanation. Just like
I'd be like
hard stop.
Gilliman. Nobody likes Chili's, but you have to go. Okay.
I don't know if he would be able to handle how
I think-
mismanaged Chili's
Oh, I think
is.
Gilliman actually likes chilies.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think he's
that's
okay
true.
into it.
Be like, oh, have you
I
guys
think
seen
he's
the
just
3 for 10?
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
and he's really interested in like the corporate structure. You know.
Yeah.
So tell me again.
So there's more than one of these?
So you have a lower minimum wage because you get tips?
How does that factor in?
How can I implement that with Space Marines?
Oh my gosh. Thank you, damn it, Zach. I think we'll ever get a stream or maybe a video on the hobby side of a start to finish building and painting of a combat patrol. It could be cool to watch the whole process from unboxing to painted models. Well, I will tell you, damn it, I cannot promise that, but I will say that is the type of thing that Kat is super interested in doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Kat is unlike. Do you like building? You like assembling, kind of.
when
right?
it's not for work.
It's not for work. Yeah.
Well, he likes like modifying. Converting.
Oh yeah, I love
yeah.
that. That's.
Kat,
But I'll build it to the book, man. I love building.
Kat actually enjoys building and painting the whole process. I think she's the only one here that probably likes
That's
that
a
whole,
rare combo.
Yeah, the whole thing. So maybe she does have some plans for something like that. Not necessarily like Combat Patrol though, but it's a great idea.
I like it. And Damon, it on fire today, right?
Yeah.
Damon's
lots of
been-
love and lots of support.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Damon.
Really appreciate it.
Damn it again. Thank you again, damn it. Where do we need to get to get you all painting Warhammer on wild left turn on the beach in swimsuits, preferably in the Bahamas with Brian, for I miss him,
Aw.
and Bridger in a bikini.
Nope. Definitely
Why
not.
does it get worse?
Definitely not going to happen.
Like Warhammer, okay, on a beach.
Okay. Yeah.
In swimsuits.
All right.
Painting with sand.
Okay.
Painting
No,
with
no, not
sand.
painting. Playing.
Paint.
Zach.
Oh,
Playing
playing.
Warhammer.
Playing with sand.
There's sand in all of my models now. Never get it out.
No, you would never get it out. Look, we'll get on it for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it'd make a great video.
I wouldn't make any promises about us playing Warhammer on the beach.
We'll just do Mr. Beast videos. We're gonna take these 2,000 point armies and play them on the beach until one of us dies. It's like 2 hours in, it gets a little windy. We're just like, I'm cold. I want to go home.
We put the table in the water. You have to walk around the water.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You would just
gosh.
get washed back ashore. It'd be so gross.
See like a manta fall into the ocean.
No!
Why?
Classic Mr. Beast video.
Classic Mr. Beast.
A manta would be fine. Be the only thing you could probably find if it fell into the ocean.
Maybe it'll
It would
float.
sink immediately. No,
That's
the
another
thing weighs
video.
like 1,000 pounds.
But if it's hollow.
If it sinks, that's good. You can just get it.
Why is it good? No.
If like Helbrick goes in the ocean, he's like gone.
I feel like Helbrick might also float.
Helbrick would definitely float.
Oh my gosh.
Really? Well, especially salt water.
Yeah, I think Helbrick
Yeah.
would float.
This sounds like another great video.
Yeah, we're just
Will it float?
spitballing.
Will
Here.
it space? How?
Thank you, Stir Crazy, aka Jacob. So, what are your thoughts on Chaos Knights at the moment? I've been having a blast. Rampagers are insane, and Carnivores have been MVP in 3 games I've been running 3 of them.
Oh, we will try the carnivores. I'm not super big on them because they don't shoot. But love the new book. It's so fun. It's so flavorful. Yeah. I think it's good without being oppressive. It feels like the right power level for knights of any sort, and they're so flavorful. So it's great. I'm loving it. I have more stuff planned. We are going to do a tyrant to add to it, and then probably a couple more armigers because they're just so cool. And I'd love to be able to run like one Castellan, one tyrant, and then like all armigers, just like a whole pack.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. So thank you for your support. Glad you're enjoying them.
Yeah, thank you, Jacob. And thank you, Broken Chef. Was only able to catch a small bit. Was John being a fiend brought up? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Space Marine chapter selection question. I'm a fan of Dreads and Plasma best fit. Dreads and Plasma.
Dreads and Plasma. We come to the right place.
Dark Angels.
That's Plasma. Is that Dreads?
Nah.
You can. You
could, but why would you?
Because... Well, who else has Plasma and Dreads?
Well, everyone takes Plasma Dreads because Redemptors.
Yeah.
No,
okay.
but it's like I immediately thought Dark Angels too because of Plasma, right?
I mean, Dreads are Iron Hands. Plasma is Dark Angels.
I feel like the only one it's not a good fit for like maybe like the hardcore melee ones like White Scars and Blood Angels.
Even Blood Angels take Dreadnoughts.
I know, but
No, Blood Angels they like
Redemptors.
They like Inceptors.
They do.
Because you can drop down and be +1 to hit.
Oh, that's true.
And you can get you're getting +1 to hit, and you drop down next to Dante, and you're rolling ones. And
Oh, and not Salamanders because they like everything has to be Melta and Flamers.
But also at next game. Whatever you say, we're just gonna say.
No, I know, but like okay, Iron
right.
Melody says Iron Hands, which is one of the ones I was thinking, or Ultramarines.
Iron Hands do
Yes.
reroll ones to hit in Depth Doctrine, so they don't blow themselves up with Plasma on specifically turn 1 of the game.
Well, you want 1 CP, you can put a unit into Dev Doctrine with them.
Yeah, so you could take some heavy Hellblasters.
Forgot about that.
And then they can...
Heavy Hell Blasters.
Yeah. Then they can reroll ones.
You know, guys, maybe it's Dark Angels.
I think it's Dark Angels. I think Dark Angels was the pick. Because Plasma is harder to tech into than Dreadnoughts. Everybody loves Dreadnoughts. Mm-hmm. There's not a chapter that doesn't do well with Dreadnoughts.
Right.
There's just better stuff you can take as Dark Angels.
Exactly.
But Dreadnoughts are still good.
Alternative is their far-flung option.
But they have to be a successor of someone.
Far-flung?
A successor of somebody.
Of Dark Angels? To get weapons of the Dark Age?
No, not Dark. Dark Angels are terrible to successor because you lose almost everything. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Who would you... Iron Hand successor?
Some kind of making your own
Iron Hand
chapter.
successor, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So the reason I'm on my phone is because I want to know if John's a fiend today. Oh, that's right. I talked to you.
Yeah, we said...
He's taking Drakari.
Oh, you want to see like what he's doing? Like how's he...
I forgot what army he was playing, which now I've remembered, but I want to see how he's doing.
Did he win game 1?
Let's see.
Did he lose game 2?
Placings. It's probably...
I think it's win then lose.
So he has won his first game with 97 points.
Yeah. Oh.
And then is going up against Cadia for round 2.
Well, he's going to win that
scored
game.
100 points.
Yeah, he'll win that game.
He better.
So he's 2-0. Good job, John.
He's going to lose it now. Wow, they have another hour in that round? 4 o'clock.
Yeah, they're going to be there all night.
That's a really late start.
Probably had a long lunch. Where is it?
Redwood City?
Yeah. That's another topic, but I'm not the biggest fan of like the hour and a half lunch.
Yeah, we know that you don't like to eat lunch.
Round and,
yeah,
well,
this is a whole...
Round 1 and 2.
I mean, we could have this conversation, but...
Yeah, it's
He doesn't like lunch in general?
No, when he goes to events, he would
to...
rather just go home earlier than have lunch.
I feel like you're missing the point, though.
Like big events are different, but like the little RTTs, like I don't know. And we're also driving up to like Fairfield. It's like an hour and a half drive, and
well, those events are particularly long because they also start later.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a cognitive choice, which I would prefer. I know now I'm gonna make you mad, but I'd rather get there sooner. I actually, you know what? I'm on board.
Both of you have made me mad.
I'm with Zach now.
I can't believe we're having this discussion at all.
Thank you, Mortifactos Mikos. Yo, Titans, what is the best Ultramarine successor list right now? What would you build around? What successor traits? Thoughts on EMP Spear, Emperor Spears, bespoke rules? Thank you.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I would do Emperor Spears for sure.
Yep.
Blade Guard.
Yep.
Vanguard Vets.
Yep. Redemptor Dreadnoughts.
Redemptor Dreads. Ultramarines have fallback and charge, guys. It's amazing.
Yeah, they do.
And Emperor Spears have a +1 to wound for 1 CP in melee. So good. And they have a like the Bieltan Psyker relic that's reroll cast. They're great. I would 100% run that with those things.
Get your Apothecary in there. You're running 2 Redemptor Dreads. You're gonna want a Techmarine. You want a Chapter Master.
Well,
all the bits and bobs. Just make everything good.
I don't know about Techmarine, but everything else.
No? Because you make 1 hit on 2s and the other one rerolls all hits.
It's still a lot of investment.
And you heal. If you can unbracket one of the 2 Redemptors in one of your 5 games, he pays for himself.
So what are your characters? Are you Librarian?
Librarian?
Because you can reroll the psychic thingy.
You need invulns. Well, this is what we're discussing.
Do you though?
I think you.
If you have 2-up cover, ignoring the first AP, so you're a 1-up. It takes AP 4 to get you to a 5-up. How much AP 5 is really being shot at you? Like, do you need the invuln? You want it for the Dreadnoughts.
Wait, why are you getting covered?
The Dreadnoughts don't get covered.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're running Blade Guard, so you don't need it for the other guys. But the Redemptors are toast. Otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough. I don't
know.
Yeah. Because you're tight on points. You're tight on points, and you can take the 1 because it just sets your BS to 2, doesn't it? The Techmarine when he awakens you.
No, it's +1.
+1 BS. Yeah. So if you unbracket and then you +1 BS, I think. I don't know. You have to be alive, obviously, for that to happen.
So you would take Apothecary. That's not HQ, obviously, but 1 Techmarine.
Yep.
And Chapter Master.
Yep. Those are my 3 characters. Yeah. And the Chapter Master, I would want. You know, the new Gravis Chapter Master is actually. I'm starting to think about him. The Gravis Captain.
I'm a fan.
The fighty Gravis Captain, because like all these books have like relic power fists, or I think he can have a power sword. There's Gravis Captain with a power sword.
He does have both.
So you can have like a beat stick captain that's still Chapter Master, and it like does the job of a fighty chaplain and a Chapter Master at the same time.
And he's durable. He's very tough.
Really durable. Yeah, I'm into him.
Yeah, I feel you.
So I might take him.
There you
go. Thank you, Kylan. For my second GT next weekend, without any other context than taking Salamanders, Adrex or Grav Captain. Made super tough.
Grav Captain.
Adrex.
Whoa. Okay, well, I guess without any other context, I think Adrex with the +1 wound in combat is great if combat is a goal of your army. If you have a unit that you know he's going to post up with, give him +1 wound, that's great. If you don't, I guess it would be hard to make an army that doesn't have a combat component. But if you don't, then the Grav Captain, they're both good in combat, like on their own. They're both good at fighting.
Yeah, agreed.
Adrex just dies. Like anything that fights him, he's dead. Whereas the Grav Captain has some survivability.
Well, this is explicitly an extra tough one.
Yeah.
If his role is to just be super tough and maybe fight, I'm not that into it. We mentioned this earlier, actually. If he has like Rights of War, that's essential.
Right.
Then I'm interested.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Thanks again, Mortifactus Mikos. Let's see Tyranids versus Aldari, the current big boogeyman, on Tuesday. Where's the Titan Watch? Must be furious with all the Xenos running around.
I know. What's up with that? That's a good consideration for Tuesday, honestly, Miko. We'll keep it in mind.
Tyranids and Eldar?
Yeah.
How did Craftworlds become... What happened? Why? I feel like I blinked and somehow they became good. When they came out, I was like, oh, this is so good against Custodes. They're busted. It's amazing. And then it wasn't.
Custodes got hurt.
Yeah.
And Tau got hurt. And Hail of Doom is still...
Oh, right. It's Shurikens.
I think it has like a 67% win rate still. Wow. It's really good. Like, I think it's Tyranids and that are probably the two best
So it's just a leaf blower list?
Mostly.
Yeah.
They do have a good amount of like bodies and OBSEC, but the principle is really just you leaf blow.
Eldar always go back to leaf blowers. Have you noticed that?
They are...
Sometimes they play the game, but they always just go back
I think of them also as like having unnecessarily insane levels of durability that they don't... This time they don't have that, which is good.
They don't.
But in the past they've had like Wave Serpents that are -2 to hit.
Right.
And like it's like, why are they so tough?
Yeah, yeah. They're contentious.
Yeah.
People forgot.
Yeah. Thank you, not Beard the Pirate. Hi Titans, as both a Necron and Templar player, this game was great. Played with new Daughters of Cain today. Turns out Spear Snake's doing mortal wounds on 2+ after fighting is bonkers. Yes. Can't wait to see them on the channel.
So good.
This is the other build of the snakes? There's bow snakes and spear snakes?
Yeah. After they fight. It used to be on a 3-up. They would do mortals, yeah?
I think also the other thing that's different now is it used to be at the end of the combat phase, and now I think it's after they fight.
Oh, that's a big change.
It did used to be at the end.
I could check.
That's a huge change because you
don't have to survive.
Right, you don't have to survive, and you're lowering the number of models they have to fight back with. That's huge.
Yeah.
And you're also doing it with more of your models.
They look crazy. The other thing that's interesting about them is they removed the Melusai keyword from the Medusa, the magic one.
The what now?
And only have it on the iron scale, who like nobody took. So to get them to be battle line, you have to take her now.
Oh, okay. That's
I don't think a lot of people
actually.
I don't think a lot of people have noticed that. And then she
Interesting.
I'm super curious. Sorry, I'm just gonna check it super quick. Here it is. Let's see. Sisters. It is.
Wow, super chest.
After it's fought for the first time and all of its combats have been resolved, is when it happens.
Wow. Okay. That's like almost a bigger change than the +1 to it.
No, they're great. I think they are good.
Doing it immediately is really
and their stats are just good, and they also like benefit from most of the book.
Yeah, that's great.
Probably something I'll phase two.
Yeah, more to get, right?
Thank you, Thomas. Good day, Titans. Love watching a game early morning on a Saturday. Just wondering if the T-Suns will be getting any play soon. Also, Bridger, do Venetari have any play currently? Why or why not?
Thousand Suns are making traction, honestly. So we're getting there, Thomas. We're getting there, I promise.
Thomas must be in Australia.
Yeah.
Australia.
Sunday. Well, it could be
early morning
Australia.
Sunday.
Or
yeah,
Japan.
It's gotta be. Oh, it could be Japan.
Japan is even further.
Yeah.
Like time-wise.
Right. Yeah. So Venetari, do they play? I'm not hugely impressed by them. It's nice to have mobility, but everything they do, it just feels like the bikes do a little bit better. They can do actions, which is valid, but their pistols being AP2, it's AP1 against Space Marines.
Yeah.
Strength 6 is great, but not being able to double shoot them anymore, it's just not the output that we used to have. I would say they're playable. They're better than Alar's Terminators, but I think they are worse than Custodian Guard, strangely. Yeah, so I'm not hugely impressed by Venetari.
Yeah, sure.
That's my read.
Thanks, Thomas.
Thank you, Damon. And once more, Brian would go down to the Burger King playground and Fight Club and make bets on which kid will reign on top.
Yep.
Yes, I'm implying there is a Burger King Fight Club of 5-year-olds.
Well, I mean, Brian, I think would be running.
No.
He would be the kingpin of this Burger King Fight Club for 5-year-olds.
The Burger King pin?
The Burger Kingpin. And he would be like perched atop the highest plastic part of the slide.
Yeah.
But his head doesn't. He has to kind of like. His head doesn't fit because the ceiling.
I don't know what it is about Brian, but any like nefarious behavior is just amazing to imagine Brian in the process of doing. Dressed in like a sweater vest and just like laughing and running around.
He'd be like kicking his legs on the top of the slide.
I remember like very early on, one of the first times I was here, and he was still here. He hadn't left yet. Somebody super chatted about you and him getting into a fight and who would win.
Yeah.
And somebody, I can't remember if it was me or Brett, was saying like, we think Brian, the first thing he would do is pull your shirt up over your head. And Brian was like, oh yeah, that's called, because it's Canadian and it's
there's like a name for
it.
It's a hockey thing.
Yeah,
right? He's like, of course that's what I would do. That's how every fight starts. You pull the person's shirt up over the head and start punching them.
I think I would definitely lose that fight.
Yeah.
I did not come prepared to go to such lengths.
Yeah, you just wouldn't fight as dirty as him.
Yeah, I think he'd just fight too dirty. Thank you, damn it, for that. Thank you, Jacob, once again. Just found out my friend got me the entire Titans Train set expansion and all for my birthday back in December. Perfect timing to play with my knights.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
And the terrain does work well to knights because one of the classic problems with knights is you can get boxed in way too easily.
Yeah.
And this one, it's actually pretty tough to create setups where that becomes an issue. So
right.
it's pretty nice.
Which is impressive because like you can get boxed in on a table where everything can be moved any place.
Right.
And somehow people box
every
through it.
time.
But for pop-up terrain to not do that is pretty good, actually.
We put some thought into it.
It's a lot of like rotating every tile in every direction to figure out like where will this create a 4-inch gap or whatever.
Jerseying, that's right.
Jerseying,
yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you, Fire Tyrant. Hi, Titans. It's almost time for the chaos to be unleashed. What would you like to see in the new Chaos Space Marines, World Eaters, and Demons Codices?
I don't care about the rest. I just want World Eaters. Yeah.
I want a strat for Alpha Legion that lets me take a unit within 9 inches of a table edge off the board and put them into reserve.
Yes! Doesn't that strat exist?
That's amazing.
I think they currently can do
have
that.
that.
I think they currently can do that.
Better not change it. I want the Demons Codex to be... You know how all the books have been super complicated, like too complicated?
Yeah.
I want it to be even more complicated.
No.
Oh, I think if one will be. It is and should be the one. It should be meta, especially if you go Zinch. It should be meta. Like you should feel like you're like
you
going
have to
down
solve
Zinch.
equations to use stratagems.
Yeah.
There's like they made a web page and you have to answer a question correctly.
The cost of a stratagem is a star. And then this one's a moon. This unit moves. How far did they move?
3 moons?
It says they move 3 moons.
And the distance of a moon changes depending on the what?
Depending on the phase of the moon.
Man, I'm so into this, actually.
Amazing.
That would be terrible.
Oh my
You
gosh.
can write this.
I'm glad we found the perfect wrong answer.
Yeah, right?
In all seriousness, my answer is the first answer I gave is what I want.
Yeah.
No, I just want World Eaters to be awesome. I want new World Eater models. I want them to get something that shoots, but just some awesome fighty stuff. But something that shoots, please. Anything that shoots. It's abysmal that nothing they have can shoot at all. Their best shooting is a skull cannon.
Wait, what?
You say like that's a bad thing.
No, I mean...
You're talking about Khorne demons now?
No, I mean, World Eaters can take like all the CSM vehicles and stuff.
Everything. They have all the same shooting everyone else has.
Yeah, but it's terrible. But it's Space Marine vehicles are already bad at shooting.
Yeah.
Like, when you don't get any buffs to shooting at all, they're
you
just
only get to complain about one
awful.
thing. You don't get to complain about 2. You get 1 change, not 2.
Bring Killshot back.
Done.
Thank you, Michael Cody. Have a weekend so good you're more excited than me waiting for the new Emperor's Only video, a postmortem by Brian of all that went wrong in this good chat. That would be amazing. Brian basically like Mystery Science Theater 3000
That'd be amazing.
the good chat.
Oh my god.
That'd be good, yeah.
That'd be so good.
Thank you, Ogre Barbarian. Thoughts on how to proceed when losing interest in factions?
Yeah.
I find myself not even having orcs or custogers near the top of my queue to play lately. It's been all chaos. Thousand Suns, Death Guard, and Knights.
Welcome to the hobby, man.
I feel
It's
I played my orcs into knights yesterday. I don't know. I just kind of lost.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I put my models on the table.
Yeah.
That was cool.
And then you took them off the table.
And then I took them off.
Yeah.
Very swiftly.
I mean, the game is often a carousel of factions. That's kind of like how GW has been doing so well as a business for the past 30 years, is they always just find a way to divert your attention and hype you up about something else all the time. It sells a lot of models.
That's a great way of wording it, too.
Yeah.
It's an honest way of wording it without being too gripey of like, oh, they're intentionally imbalancing the game. I know they're not intentionally balancing the game, but they do obviously want to keep you excited about the next thing.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah. And other games are starting to do that, and it's been a culture, it's been a part of 40K culture. Like, everybody just knows.
Yeah.
Every book that comes out is going to be awesome. Like, you can it's safe to assume books are going to be awesome. New models are going to be awesome. And that, like, it's just to keep you excited. And other games are starting to have that, and people are like, "What? How do we have hype fatigue. How do we, I don't care. I don't care. Please stop having new products. But 40K, we don't do that. We're like, World Eaters? I don't even play Chaos, but I'm excited about World Eaters, right? Like,
exactly.
it's all so cool. I don't know, man. There's no answer.
I think, these are good points. Also, I think it's okay to have this. Like, maybe that's not what you want to hear, but like, oh, I'm not into my orcs and my custodians right now. That's okay. These other factions are cool. I will say for myself, when the Tau first came out, I was very into Sigmar. I was like, Tau. I love this faction. I don't really know 40k right now, but it took me a little while to find a version of Tau that I like. And then I was all on board, and it just has like a stratagem to take a unit that's within 9 inches of a table edge off. And, but anyway, my point is that like find a version of these armies that you like, even if you're kind of doing this, right? Like with orcs, like even if they're not super competitive, like find orcs, find custodians, be like, hey, I'm going to try this. Like I just like fast bikes, fast melee bikes.
Right.
Like both these armies can do that, right? Like I'm going to build into that. It's going to be good sometimes. It's not going to be top table. I don't know. Honestly, I think it's like, and this is easier said than done. Don't sacrifice how many games you can get in. Like, don't ruin your life or your relationships, but like, get more games in if you can, if you have that option.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think there's two approaches. One, you find a way to enjoy your faction, like orcs, for example. I'm like, look, I'm going to take 18 squigs to BAO. It's not the best, but it's going to bring me joy to try to like carve out my little niche in the faction that I love. Mm-hmm. That's obviously one way. The other way is, frankly, the thing that I was doing for the last season, where I said, you know what, I'm just going to play whatever inspires me at the time, whatever I think is going to take me the farthest in the event, and just embrace that. It doesn't make you not, Custoger Barbarian. It doesn't make you not a Custodian or Orc player. I know when you feel like you identify a lot with a faction, sometimes it feels like you're betraying them. I'll tell you the first thing I did years ago is I said, I'm not going to worry about trying to get best of this faction or whatever, because it was creating more stress than joy that it was giving. So I think give yourself that permission if that's just going to make you happier for now, and you'll come back to them. You love those factions. It's all good.
And the cycle honestly doesn't even, like, it's a cyclic thing, and it doesn't take from one codex to the next to come back.
Yeah.
Like, I have walked away from Custodians and come back to them many times across two codexes.
Within the same codex.
Right, right. Like, I've only had 2 Custodians codexes, and I've played them religiously and then walked away and come back many times. The game just changes. Like, it's a long-form hobby. You're in it for the long haul. You're already in way too deep to get out.
Yeah.
So, like,
you can't recoup any of this financially, by the way. So don't even try.
If you don't want to play Orcs and Custodians right now, cool, put them on the shelf, come back to it later. Like, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
It's also an opportunity to get stronger at hobby if you start
just don't play the game at all.
Pushing yourself into a different army. Like
yeah. I thought you were going to say AOS.
Well, it is a good time to play.
But listen, to be 100% honest with you, that is back last February. 9th Ed came out. Tower, like, very weak games we were playing. It was like they weren't fun.
Yeah.
So I started Simon.
Yeah.
And then that happened to them too. And I was like, you know what? Like, it's just actually not a bad idea to diversify.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I'll just play AOS as well.
Exactly.
Because it's about that. And like, you can move from one to the other. And like Bridger's saying, they want you to be hyped about things, and it's a good thing.
And even outside of, so like, within a game, they want you to go around the carousel of all the factions in the game. Then they also have other games, like they want you to play Horus Heresy, they want you to play AOS, they want you to play Blood Bowl. It's like Necromunda, Kill Teams, like,
it's like
they are so efficient.
Carousels inside of carousels. Inside of carousels.
Yeah. It's like a biblical angel.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was deep.
Thank you. Oh, sorry.
Did we lose?
A bit. Oh, yeah, okay. Thank you, Fire Tyrant. Also, what do you think of Paladins and Grey Knights now? If you get Armor Resilient off and are in Tide of Shadows, they have a 0-up save.
Right.
That and the fact that they have Armor of Contempt, they seem good.
I'm super into them. I wish John was here to answer this question, but if I was playing Grey Knights right now, which
he has some issue with them.
No, he's super into Terminators right now. He loves Grey Knight Terminators.
Specifically Paladin?
No, I think he takes normal Terminators over Paladins because they're just way cheaper.
I thought he had some. Do you remember? No. We were here.
Is he taking Paladins?
About it. I can't remember.
Well, so Thursday he was talking about the opposite side of this spectrum, which is like Dread Knights with Night Knights, which is like it's memeable, but I don't know that that's actually the correct answer.
Right.
I like the Paladins a lot.
I just thought Terminators are troops.
Yeah.
And they're way cheaper.
Yep.
And they still get a 0-up save.
Yep.
And they're OBSEC.
I think the regular ones are OBSEC, but the Paladins aren't.
Right.
Yeah.
Because Terminators are troops.
Yeah. But you also have a way to make something OBSEC. It's like there's two things that give you OBSEC.
Yeah. But I just, like, you lose an attack and some strats by not being paladins.
Might as well just run cheaper ones.
So I think you just run the cheaper ones.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, I could be wrong about that. Like, there might be something else you lose.
Yeah, I feel you. I think they're solid, though.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gasanova45. Subtitans had a ridiculous idea. What if Black Templars had a cheap, tortured psychic unit that's just meant to run out, cast a power, and blow up in the psychic phase? Only needs to be ridiculous.
That sounds like heresy, sir.
Heresy!
I will not tolerate such heresy.
Yeah, I don't think they would tolerate it.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like a Marine that's like, like almost,
well, it wouldn't be a
almost like a
Marine.
Pentian engine. No, I want it to be a Marine that's like almost in a Pentian engine, but he's upside down, and he's just like not a lot of clothes on, like a safe amount. That's not the focus here, you two. But he's like upside down in this thing, and he's just like this like librarian that they're like, no, you can't be, but you can still serve the Emperor.
So weird.
It's not that weird, guys.
Everything about this.
You were so quick with response and very specific about the details.
You chained up a space marine, mostly naked, upside down.
I see these before you guys do. I read them.
And shamed him. You like wheel him out upside down, mostly naked, shaming him on the battlefield.
Willow's saying what I said. It sounds like a sisters unit. It's like the Pentian engine and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, man.
Like imagine an Invictus War suit. But there's like an upside
the guy's
down
naked.
Marine, almost naked Marine in there, and he's a psyker.
Yeah, yeah.
Templars hate psychers. They wouldn't bring them. They like really hate psychers. Like,
Well, I think it's a great, ridiculous idea, Gasanova.
every section of their rules, including vows, warlord traits, relics, stratagems, everywhere. You look anywhere in their rulebook, it's like, we hate psychers. Here's the thing that they hate psychers because we hate psychers so much. Literally every page of that book has something about hating psychers.
Yeah, there's like the spectrum for Inquisitors of like how radical they are and how much they're willing to deal with stuff. And it's like, if you're in the middle, like, you're not really supposed to like any psychic as an Imperial person. They're like, okay, they'll use it, they'll tolerate it like when it makes sense. Like they'll, use some psychic powers or whatever. They might abuse, they might have like a like magical thing that they will kind of abuse like safely and use. Mm-hmm. That's like one end of it. And then on the right, you have people that would like totally will use psychic powers and even have like demon, what's it called? Like possessed.
Demon hosts.
Demon hosts, yeah, exactly, and totally embrace it. And then the other side where they don't even touch it, they don't even use it, even if it kills the psyker and does it. And to me, Black Templars are on that side of the spectrum.
Yeah, they hate psychers so much.
But it is a cool idea, and it's good, Zach.
Well, I think we can workshop the whole upside down, chained up, naked
Maybe like
thing.
the clothes thing is a little like, are the nipples covered up at least?
Yeah, I think upside down. I think one or the other could work, but maybe not both. Upside down and naked.
Which one would you give up first? Answer carefully.
No, don't answer that. Just ask the next question. Don't answer that, Zach. As your lawyer, I have to advise you not to answer that question.
Thank you, Caldor. Hey guys, thoughts on new AOS core box? Any plans for more Sig Mondays? Also, what non-GW minigames are you playing in your minimal free time? Thanks for another great stream.
Is there a new AOS core box?
I think they mean
talking about the
Dominion?
No, the one that just came out today.
Daughters of Cain against Nighthawk.
No, it's
Sylvaneth.
It's Skaven versus Sylvaneth.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes,
the one that got announced.
It's either announced today or it's out today. I saw people posting it.
Yeah, I think
they were content creators.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
It's a cool box. We have it.
We do.
Excited for it. Actually, we'll post up somewhere. We actually already have the assassin, the new assassin model for Skaven. He looks dope. Built, painted up. He was done within like a couple days because it's such a cool
What's in
model.
that box? Are there new gutter runners?
So it's weird. No, it's him.
Him.
He's the only new
Yes,
Skaven model.
Yes.
It comes with box of clan rats.
Okay.
I don't think it's 20, it might be 10. Comes with storm vermin, plastic ones.
Okay.
I'm like so old-fashioned about it. I still think of those as like the new ones,
Right.
the non-metal ones.
But they're like almost a decade old.
Yep, and it comes with a screaming bell, which is super weird.
Weird.
So
Weird box.
that's the Skaven side.
Huh.
It's like a mix of clans.
Yeah.
Maybe it suggests things in the new book. I don't know. We're not playtesters for that game, so it's always a complete and utter shock when
When
the rules
everything
come
comes out, yeah.
And then the Sylvaneth side comes with the new Lady of Vines. I saw some good paint jobs that make her look a little bit less silly. It comes with the new Sprite Revenant winged ladies.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're great. They're just going to be like the cheap, jumpy flying units in Sigmar, you know?
Yep.
And it comes with a Tree Lord.
Ooh.
Never have.
I like
I think
those.
this is probably Mel's like 7th Tree Lord now. And it comes
I think that might be too many. We found too many.
That might be too many. And Kurnoth Hunters,
Oh, those are good.
which is cool. And we only had like a box, and now there's a couple boxes.
I liked seeing Kurnoth Hunters in the museum at Warhammer World. They were cool.
They were awesome.
They had the little ammo bugs.
Yeah.
Little bugs,
They
and you
carry
pull
them.
arrows like out of their heads.
Yeah,
That's
it's
cool.
pretty sweet. And I have thoughts on them, which we'll discuss at length on Monday.
We are playing on Monday, but we're not going to play like every Monday anymore. It was a large time commitment from all of us.
Yeah, we're not doing a new series just yet. Maybe down the line, but right now it'll be kind of releases. So we'll do these books. We'll definitely do Skaven, all that stuff.
Non-GW minigames. I don't no,
None.
nothing.
None.
Playing
Sorry.
no. I did, but before we left, though, I picked up Morkbjore,
Ooh, what?
which is a not
the
for
name of
kids
a game?
First of all, it's very gory. It's like a very hipstery game from Sweden, I believe. Hence the name.
The weird name,
The way it's
yeah.
spelt.
Yeah.
If we want to say like, if we're not going to do the in it thing,
In-it?
is Morkborg. That's not how you say it.
Weird.
And it's like a zine game. It's like totally like very graphic, and you like it's very 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 harsh. It's almost like Dark Soulsy.
So like the
Rules
model that
minimal.
Zach was proposing would fit in that game?
Would actually.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. It's very gritty and bare bones, and like the whole thing is like an art book. It's amazing. So I got that, and I was reading it on our trip. I'd love to do something about it, but that's as close as I got into playing other games. I read the rules for a different game.
I read the rules to Conquest. They had sent us a box, and we were considering doing it. And building the models was kind of fun, but then like I went to put an army together, and they have like an army, but they have an app, which like everybody should have an app. But like 60% of the units that were in the app don't exist yet. Like there aren't models for them. And I kept like putting lists together, like, oh, what's that Iron Priest guy? He seems really. Oh, he doesn't exist. Okay, but what about these cavalry? Oh, they don't exist. And like everything I got excited about didn't exist, so I put Conquest down.
Yeah, that's the tough thing with those smaller games and newer games.
Yeah.
I used to play Dark Age. You guys remember that game?
Age.
A little bit.
It was a sci-fi game based entirely on the art of Brahm.
Oh.
Yeah, doesn't like famous magic cards, stuff like that. Really, really cool art style. But it was the same thing. It was like, oh, love this faction, super excited, but this, and this model like isn't out yet.
Yeah.
So you have to like wait for them to come out, like months or a year later.
I know Conquest just had a new model release. Maybe some of the stuff I thought was cool is.
Are the Death Guys out?
I don't know.
Sorry, the Undead
I don't know.
Skeletons.
No, but and it was a new faction that just came out. I can't remember which one.
Oh, okay. Check it out.
Yeah. Thank you, Martin. Bridger, you knew this was coming. You
Yep.
crossed the seas and visited the
did.
British Isles. There was no warning, and you did not visit the shooting club. Harsh.
Well, Martin, there was some warning. I didn't directly warn you, but we did say we were going to England
Many times.
for several weeks. And I would have gone to visit if we had any free time at all, but we were actually jam-packed. From the minute we landed, we were busy until we left.
There was no rest.
We were wicked. No rest.
Yeah.
It was rough. It was a lot.
It was a lot.
But it was really fun. We had a great time in England. We will be back.
LGT?
LGT. Yeah,
End of-
I'm at least going to LGT.
You're going for sure.
I think you should probably go.
I'm thinking about it.
Just play doubles.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or play Sigmar. Does LGT have?
I don't know.
Zach, do you know? Does LGT have Sigmar?
I don't know. I was curious about it as well.
Are you going to go to LGT?
Look at,
for Sigmar?
Maybe, I don't know.
Wow.
You're going to Nova, though.
Nova, are you going to go to Nova?
I'm now going to Nova.
Are you going
You
to
are.
Nova?
Yep.
Okay, you're going to Nova.
We all going to
You'll
Nova?
go now, yeah?
And I'm also going to this other one in Irvine, Old Town Throwdown.
Oh, yeah.
The what now?
I'm interested.
In
Oh, wait. Is that
Sigmar.
the day you requested off?
That's 2 weeks from
No,
today.
that was for a different thing.
Yes.
That's for Brett's wedding.
That's Brett's wedding.
Yeah. I realized saying the other thing makes it sound
No, it's like in
nefarious.
August. It's like in August. I need to,
Okay. I might go to that too with you.
So many events.
Thank you again, Martin. Bridger, we know that you are a social recluse, and therefore it's highly unlikely that you receive many Discord DMs.
Not true.
Am I therefore correct that my DM invitation was intentionally ignored? Tears.
I can tell you for a fact, he ignores everyone.
Yeah. I actually have his Discord open
Yeah.
right
Oh my
now.
God, there's so many.
don't. I mean, I should actually respond to those top two, but like,
Oh, just that. Wow.
I use the mark on red feature of most messaging services more than any other feature, including sending messages. Of like, I'll deal with that later. And while we were on that trip, I didn't even really open many messages to then mark on red. We were just so busy.
Yeah. Well, when we're in the UK, we use WhatsApp because we're.
I did not use WhatsApp.
You didn't know. Interesting.
I didn't use any
Is
messaging.
that how I was in a group chat with Vince, but it was just him and I?
Yes.
He created a group chat, which I thought Bridger was in, for like the whole trip. So he kept like asking me weird questions about what Vince was saying. I was like, "What? Why are you at? It's right there."
Already had a Facebook group chat that had existed for over a year.
We're getting old, man. We're getting old.
It's hundreds. It's probably 200 messages. I stopped counting. From it looks like maybe 40 different people.
Jesus. So no, Martin, you're not special.
You're not special. He's just busy, and you know I get it. Like once it gets this bad,
Once it gets
like,
over 20 on
done.
red, you just don't care anymore.
Yeah. Oh
You're
my
like,
God.
yep, whatever.
that's how people go to prison for parking tickets. It's like not necessarily fair, but it's like
Once you have more than 20 parking
it's
tickets.
just like I can't deal with it. Oh boy, another parking ticket. What a scamp.
What?
Thank you, damn it. Boy, Bridger, you're really getting raked over the coals here in the end, in the home stretch. Gamer Boy Bridger, have you been playing Bannerlord any? Been loving the newest updates. Also, I've been really loving Genshin Impact. Any of you all play?
That's a gotcha, isn't it? I tend to avoid gotchas that aren't card games.
Genshin Impact. What is that and what's a gotcha?
A gotcha is, well, okay, so
I don't like them in Warhammer, I know that.
You know when you were a kid and you went to the supermarket?
Yes.
And there was those crank machines where you get a ball, and inside of it is some random toy? That's a gotcha. They turned it into, like, mobile games are all about, you know, open a random egg, right? You open a...
Loot boxes?
Yeah. Like, loot boxes came from gotchas. Loot boxes in, like, PC games actually came from mobile games before them, where you would get, like, Puzzle and Dragon. It's, like, one of the oldest... Well, it's not one of the oldest, but it's one of the most successful old gotchas.
Yeah.
Where, like, you can pay in-game currency or real money to get a random character from this set of characters. And there's, like, some good ones and some bad ones,
So like
right?
baseball cards.
Right, like card games. So I stick to card games in terms of gotchas, because I really like card games. So I've not played Genshin Impact, which I'm pretty sure is a gotcha, but I'm not 100% sure.
Like baseball cards. Yeah, like card games.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, card games were the original loot box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
You've used like all these different words to describe things that we know.
But they have, the words have context, like,
I'm
outside
genuinely
of...
curious. And
Yeah.
confused.
I mean, it's a Japanese term.
Yeah. Bannerlord.
No. I haven't gone back since basically the game was in early access.
It's kind of like that in Total War. Like it'll be great when they finish these games.
Well, no, Bannerlord I think is now in a great playable state. I just
And actually, I think that one like was actually early access.
Yeah.
Like not.
We have a roadmap, but our game's totally done.
It's so hard for me to wrap my head around like how many different, even just Games Workshop things I do.
Yeah.
To then imagine also having this whole other world.
Oh, dude.
It's like that for video games.
Yeah. You should see my Steam library. It's a nightmare. And now it's to the point where like not even everything's on Steam. So I have like I pay Xbox monthly to get the Xbox games, and then I have Humble monthly, which got renamed to something.
Yeah. Humble,
so like
Trove.
I get random garbage games every month. One of 9 that I will play.
I had to stop that one.
And then
Too much.
I was paying for Stadia for a while, and then I stopped doing that. And dude, there's so many services. Epic Games, now Epic is like trying to push their weight around and they have exclusives. So you got to buy some games on Epic. It's ridiculous, Zach. You got to pay everybody for everything. You just want to play games, man.
I just don't know how you have the time. Because you also work a lot.
Well, here's what you do, Zach.
Well, you don't hobby.
You pay more than you should for a game that you then play for an hour.
Yeah.
That's how you do it. You're like, oh, I get the flavor.
You
of
also
this.
it is your hobby, right? I cook. You don't cook. I
don't know. I definitely.
You were for a little while, but
I was making an effort to cook, but not out of enjoyment. Just like I've been told I am supposed to do this, like brushing your teeth. So I will attempt to. Brushing my teeth is not enough of a barrier for me. Like, it's not annoying enough for me to not do it. Cooking
So you do brush your teeth?
Immensely annoying. Yes, I do brush my teeth.
Okay.
I don't cook. It was immensely annoying. It took up so much time, I stopped doing it. That was a very long answer to this question.
Yeah.
Yes.
not brushing your teeth.
Correct. Brushing your teeth, couple of minutes. Cooking, an hour plus.
Yeah.
So much time.
Thank you, Martin, once again. Whilst slugging away, I noticed that the Titans train has not suffered from the global production supply issues, which is great. Yeah. Bridger, what's the story with the TTT dice these days? No Dice Bridger.
Okay, so a bunch of people told us, like, oh, hey, we know a company that'll, and then they didn't. So, no. We could probably talk to the people who manufactured this.
Yeah.
That's
kind of been the...
That's like a Brian thing, though.
Yeah.
I'm not in charge of that. I don't have any of their contact info and probably don't really want their contact info.
Because then you have to deal with it.
Then
yeah,
that's a lot of work.
That's been kind of the standing plan for a while was we know they can do it. And so, this is kind of our first cycle through with these manufacturers, making sure that we like them, they like us.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're going to do more.
It's a big commitment. A lot of money is going to change hands when we make these dice.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
we want to make sure we're comfortable with these people.
Exactly. As far as the global supply chain, partially luck, partially we planned for things to go wrong because they always go wrong.
They always do.
So we did have some delays, frankly, with manufacturing, but we had them all baked in. So, fingers crossed. Obviously, things can still happen, but we've been in it. We've made it past everything. So,
Brian did a really great job on
very experienced,
getting all this, to market.
Brian's a major secret weapon for this kind of stuff.
Yeah. If you guys are wondering what he's working on, he spends
largely
a lot of time.
This. Yeah.
If you guys have any customer support, that's always Brian.
That's all him. Yep. He's been doing that.
So shout out to Brian.
Yeah. Thank you, Martin, again, so much. And he says, Adrian, great to see you looking so well. That shirt is very dapper on you.
Thank you.
Did you enjoy your visit to the UK? It just shows how amazing of a person you are to take Bridger with you. Such a good person.
Bridger was like my guide through the UK.
In some ways.
You took on the burden of planning, mostly.
Well, I passed a lot of that on to Lee.
That's true. You were always like our how do we get from point A to point B? Like on your phone, you're like, okay, we need to go from this train line to this thing, and I kind of just followed you, and you did a great job.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So
lucky you didn't end up in like a what is that, Wicker Man type situation. Have you guys ever seen that, Wicker Man?
I've seen clips, but not the whole movie.
You gotta see the original.
I'm thinking of...
It's Christopher Lee. You're thinking the Nicolas Cage one?
Yeah.
No.
The bees clip? Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
What's the... I was thinking of Midsommar.
Oh, Midsommar, yeah.
Which we could have also easily...
You also could have got
Yeah,
Midsommar.
for sure.
Yeah.
Like, if you've seen Southampton...
Thank you, Mortifactus Mikos. If you take Bladeguard Vets, Dreads, Vanguard Vets, do you take any fast attack or heavy? Not enough points. Impulsors for Bladeguard Vets? Ancient? Better to focus on dudes or Dreads?
It's a lot of questions. Okay.
This is from a little while back.
Yeah. So I don't... No, don't scroll, Zach. Just go back to...
That's okay. We remember.
I don't know of many fast attack or heavy in Space Marines that you need to go out of your way to get. There's no must-haves.
I still like multi-melt attack bikes.
They're good, yeah.
Especially given knights.
This is for Templars. They're with a 5 of Involum and mini transhuman. They're pretty good. They're unreliable to kill. Yeah. If you take them individually, who knows how much you really need to shoot at them. They actually got a big buff from Armor of Contempt.
Yeah, they're tougher.
And can bikers can't get cover?
They cannot get cover.
Okay.
But if you have the apothecary, if you take a squad of 3,
right,
you can res them.
Yeah.
Chapter master them with Hellbricked.
Oh yeah. Impulsor for Playground Vets. I'm actually not a huge fan of Impulsors after all the nerfs. They kept adding rules to the game that are like, well, you can't get out of a transport and then you can't charge. Like, if you get out of a transport after it moves, you're not allowed to charge for any reason. The devout push got nerfed, so you can't get back in transports. Like, I'm not a huge Impulsor proponent. They've seen so many nerfs over the years. They lost fly, their points went up, all their upgrades got worse and more expensive, their explosion got worse. That's just going from 8th edition to 9th edition. Then there's all the 9th edition FAQs on how you're allowed to interact with a transport. It's like, even at 100 points, that's like 2 more Blade Guard vets. Or an apothecary, chief apothecary.
Yeah.
That's a saucy inclusion.
Sure. Yeah, I probably wouldn't take one generally unless you're taking at least 2 blocks of Blade Guard vets.
Yeah.
Because then it has some function where you have one that's out, one that trains humans, other one is kind of staging.
Oh, this is for Ultramarine successors.
Yeah, yeah.
They are also good as
Ultramarine.
No, they're also good as Ultramarines, multi-multi attack bikes.
Yeah.
Because they can fall back and shoot. You can't just tag them to turn them off. Which is one of the simple solutions to attack bikes.
Yeah. I would consider taking one. Because for Emperor Spears, I would definitely take at least 2x5 Blade Guard vets, if not more. The Ancient.
I'm not a huge fan of the Ancient.
So I'm not.
Because you could just take 2 more Blade Guard instead of him.
But you're going to want Rites of War. You're going to want OBSEC.
Mm-hmm.
So there's Rites of War. There's also the upgraded Ancient that can give a unit OBSEC or double OBSEC.
Mm-hmm.
I would consider him only for that, personally.
Yeah, so when you're playing Space Marines, you always have to think, I have 3 characters that get Warlord traits. I also want those 3 characters to get relevant relics.
Yeah.
And that can be an issue.
You're right.
And so, but that banner like is a relevant relic that you could take, as opposed to a chaplain. Like, let's say you bring a chaplain. That's kind of the thing that you would be switching this out for.
Yeah.
The thing that makes it so hard to make that comparison is like chaplains are just so clearly amazing for their points and the warlord traits and relics you can put on them.
Yeah.
Unless you're me today. But like, that's why you tend not to see the Ancient, is the 3 characters you see all the time is Chapter Master, Apothecary, Chaplain.
Yeah.
And Librarian, I mean, you switch out the Apothecary for a Librarian sometimes.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And then more Dudes or Dreads, depends. I mean, I wouldn't go over 2 Redemptors, I don't think.
Not nowadays. Yeah. I think two Redemptors and the rest. Volkites are...
Yeah.
Nah.
Okay.
They're okay. And you're spending extra CP on them, so I'd probably, just 2 Redemptors, stick with that. And then the rest, infantry. Or the attack bikes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Martin. Been super focused on work and keeping up with my master's degree.
Oh.
Adrian, what is the latest on Dark Angels? And also, please rebuff any anti-Dark Angel commentary that Bridger throws out when answering this question.
Okay. So I got to slide in here real quick. I just got to take this opportunity to talk about, while we were in England, we met some very cool Horus Heresy people. They told me to play the Horus Heresy card game. I did.
Yeah.
In the card game, when I joined, the campaign was you playing as Night Lords, dunking on Dark Angels. It was very satisfying. I enjoyed it greatly, and it was like perfectly timed because we did Night Lords. I don't like Dark Angels. Also, the next campaign after that, you play as Dark Angels, losing to Night Lords all the time. It does happen. Like, you play, they're terrible.
Well, unfortunately, that's actually canonical.
Yeah. They just lose to Night Lords.
Wait, the Dark Angel's losing to Night Lords. That's not canonical, actually.
I don't know. But
It's the opposite.
in that game,
That's inaccurate. What the heck?
in that game, Dark Angels can take demons because they're chaos.
It's pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
Look, there are some Dark Angels back in the day that were not to be trusted. But they're all gone now.
Yeah, sure.
They're all dead. All the fallen are gone.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, no, it was the Dark Angels beat the Night Lords, and then Conrad Kurz made this push back into the Dark Angels to
kill them all.
to try to kill them all.
And they all died.
No spoilers.
And then all the Dark Angels died, and the whole galaxy applauded.
Wow. Dark Angels, I think, are in a really good place. We discussed it a little bit earlier, Martin, so if this is a repeat at this point, apologies, but
They're good.
They're good. Armor of Contempt is great.
Yeah.
You know, especially with Deathwing Terminators. Already having the 2-up, going to basically a 1-up with this. If you can touch into cover, you're 0-up. And it's an army that really benefits from being able to like play from cover to cover.
Yeah.
We think they're really strong, really interesting. It's a good time to be playing them. And they're good at things that are also good into Armor of Contempt. So again, they have the multi-melt attack bikes. They have amazing plasma. So I would be really excited right now to be taking Dark Angels to events, frankly. They're great. And I think we played them once since Armor of Contempt. They're almost going to be even harder to find matchups again that are like an interesting stream showcase because they're going to be so tough
durable.
to remove, right?
Yeah.
They're in a good place. The bodyguard rule did hurt the command squads. However, I think they're still interesting, still useful. You can have a couple of those out of line of sight also because now shooting out of line of sight is severely hurt. So you can have them behind with your Talon Master still shooting. The last time we actually ran a list, we dropped Ezekiel, which I know, heresy, but what it did is it made space for 6 multi-melt attack bikes and 2 Talon Masters. It was a really, really tuned list.
Would you still run 2 Talon Masters after the bodyguard changes?
This was after, yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, yes. Because here's the thing, you can ignore cover, which is big into Armor of Contempt.
Yep.
One of them at least, with Ezekiel, Azrael, you can put them back into Devastator Doctrine, and that gives them the extra AP.
Right, so they go to AP2 with the Assault Cannon?
Yeah, and ignoring cover.
So it takes them to 4-ups.
Yeah, which is pretty spicy.
Yeah.
Because it's volume.
Yeah.
Right. So
just a lot of shots.
It's one of the few units that's actually like kind of volume, kind of AP.
Right.
So I don't know. It's interesting.
Hey, good luck on your Masters.
Yeah, man.
Yes. And thank you, Ben. Do you think giving the Riptide or Ghostkeel core would be a crazy idea?
Yes.
I just wish there were more interesting core units in Tau besides Crisis.
It probably would be. I think it might be too much, unfortunately.
Certainly for a Riptide, but maybe if you give a Ghostkeel core, it's basically Dreadnought.
I think the Ghostkeel needs to be lifted up, so I'm not totally opposed. That would actually take it to me from being questionable to actually a good unit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think stealth are interesting. If by interesting you mean killy, then maybe not. But stealth are very interesting.
Oh yeah, totally.
They're core. But I do sort of, wish that maybe the different. I don't know if any book currently does this. This used to be a thing where like each sept or subfaction has something core that's not for other
that would
people.
be cool. Yeah.
It's an interesting idea. You have to be careful with it, right? Like, and that's part of the problem. Like, what happens when a Riptide has core?
What happens when broadsides are core?
Right. And I think they're still pretty good without them.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest with you guys, I think core is a weird concept that I'm not like a biggest fan of. Because it feels so, it almost always seems like each codex has problems with it. Each time a book comes out, core is like this thing where like, oh, should that have been core? Or, I can't believe that's core. I can't believe you can do that to that unit.
But is that a problem with core or the execution of core?
Yes.
Well, definitely the execution of core, of course.
Right.
But of course, I'm suggesting, get it? Core.
Yeah.
That it hasn't.
Okay.
That for whatever reason, it's hard, and like I'm not saying they're not writing good rules. We know sometimes they get rules awesome, sometimes they don't. It seems like a point where it's like, I don't know. Yes, I agree. There's something needs to be like basic like troop things, like fire warriors are core, but like it seems to be this like huge winners losers thing quick.
I mean, I think it's actually core is just the fall guy for buffs that are too good. Like core takes all the blame, but before we had core, we had broken auras and broken buffs.
Yes, you're not wrong.
And like core is just a way of saying, oh, it would be too good if those units could have buffs at all. So we'll just say all those units can't have any buffs, and we'll put it under this guise of core.
But I think you're right. I think you guys are right. But the problem is that there's also this narrative element involved in core.
Yes.
And which is cool, super cool, but they don't always align. So for example, if Crisis weren't core, that would be insane.
Right.
So they have to be core. They're insanely good. So they get all the core perks. And it's like, kind of a problem, right? Like,
yeah.
Well, or maybe not too much, but I think it lends itself.
Yeah, I think accepting those things as true, which I think we agree on. The challenge is then how do you make it not insane? How do you, frankly, when there was like the fake data slate update where it said you only get X amount of crisis bodyguard suits, I felt like I was like, that's not entirely unreasonable because then they can be awesome, but you can't spam them.
Yeah,
and they can be core and get the stuff. So I think they need to limit them in a different fashion. Yeah. So I think core can be rife with implementation problems, but I still like the concept because I really don't want to go back to 3 Riptides or 3 Fire Raptor lists or
what if non-core you can only take like 1 or 2 of the unit?
That's a big blanket change.
Yeah, I mean it's not bad.
Rule of 2, rule of 1 for
yeah.
I mean I think 1 is probably too far.
The problem then is people like me who have 3 ghost kills or 2 Riptides are like, cool, glad I did that, glad I bought those. Yeah. And to be fair, that is an issue. Like GW doesn't want to be selling you it's an issue from their end. They don't want to sell you models that then like a year later like, hey, you can only use 1 at a time.
Whereas right now it's kind of like the Zach thing. It's like you can take a Riptide, you can not bring your reserves in after turn 3, but they're gonna die.
Right.
Your Riptide will not be great.
But I mean, they have bit the bullet on it.
To do it.
They have bit the bullet on buggies, right? People bought 9 of a buggy, now you can only run 3 of a buggy. They bit the bullet on flyers. People used to own a gajillion flyers, now you can run 1.
It's like a targeted decision. And I'm not opposed to them doing more of those targeted limitations. Yeah. I think that would be cool, you know?
Thanks again, Martin. Been away for a while, so can you guys explain which army Bridger has meta-chased himself into collecting and piloting now? How is his playstyle developing? Does he play his new army like ABC Custodians?
Bridger is like...
kind of the opposite of a meta-chaser.
Yeah, you haven't even attempted to play the meta in years now.
I'll just play whatever you put in front of me. Like, if you tell me you're playing... I struggle with Chaos. I've always struggled with Chaos. Yeah. But pretty much everything else, like, you put in front of me, I can play it.
What do you mean struggle? Just, like, not your thing?
Like, I can do Death Guard, because I just played Death Guard enough times to really get it. Yeah. But Chaos is all about knowing their storied history of codexes. You have to remember all 12 of their books. And the bits and pieces and why this has been errated 2 books down the line, but then unerrated 2 more books down the line.
Because they get like normal Space Marines get like 3 codexes in the time that Chaos get 1, and then they get these like patches.
Right. Chaos gets books that are just a reprint of the rules with patches. Yeah. It's essentially patch notes.
Yeah.
But there's like 10 of them. So I've always struggled, even before there were all the patches. Like Chaos was a combo-based army, where it was like you have to figure out where it's all about buffs, and you got to put all your spells and your weird chaplain litanies that they don't call chaplain litanies on a unit, and then that supercharged unit goes and does a thing, and you hope it survives, so you can supercharge another unit and send it out, and it's like just not my thing.
He's playing Martin AOS at the BAO, and he is playing sort of an army that is really strong right now, but sounds like he's taking a list that's probably not that
amazing.
Strong. Yeah. But he wants the ability to just carry 6 models in a backpack.
No, I'm not going to go that far, Zach. I will have a tray, but it's not a big tray.
Yeah.
It's a cooking tray.
Yeah, because you won't be needing that anymore, sounds like, with how little cooking you're doing. Thank you again, Martin. On your next visit, you have to come visit, and you can blow up your most hated models or rule books with shotguns while eating steak sandwiches. We can make it a glorious time.
Okay.
This sounds like an American thing.
Right. So a part of Martin's storied background is that Martin is a competitive Olympic skeet shooter.
Yes.
Is that correct? Which blows my mind because the whole time that we were in England, I was like talking with Liam, our gracious host, about how things are different there from the US, and like guns exist in England, but not really. They're like mythical.
Yeah.
And so I don't understand how does this happen, Martin? How is this allowed?
Well, it exists like this, right? You have guns for hunting and you have guns for sport. But without getting into the politics too much, it's much harder to get one.
Right.
And they're not as prevalent.
But we have stuff like that here as well, right? Like archery, or even stuff with horses. Like, it's typically associated with a club or like a particular activity.
Yeah.
It's like controlled. It's more like a.
Not everyone's running around with bow and arrows, you know.
Right. Well, maybe the world would be a better place. If we all had a bow and arrow.
In some ways, it's a lot more painful way to die than being shot.
It's not the
Especially
worst.
when they're like
it's not his worst idea, though. Let's not kid ourselves.
Well, that's not saying that. Anyways, I don't even know. Well, I guess you probably don't want to dox yourself. I don't know where in the UK Martin even is.
Neither do I.
Here's another
We
question.
were invited to go see him, and I was not. I didn't know where he was.
I'm a little curious in the UK what. I know this is going to sound silly, but what does it mean for something to be a steak sandwich? Because that means, even within the US, what a steak sandwich is regionally can kind of mean different things.
I think like a Philly cheesesteak.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is that what you? Is that not what you think of as a steak sandwich?
I was thinking like horseradish and lettuce and steak and stuff.
See, you're thinking like a Maryland pit beef.
Yeah, like a cold
type
steak
thing.
sandwich.
Yeah, that's like Maryland.
Okay.
What you're thinking is more like
like a hot,
like
cheesy.
Yeah, cheesy steak.
Very different
sandwich. Yeah.
So I'd be curious what a British steak sandwich was. My guess, I'm guessing. No offense to England, but I'm guessing there's a bone involved somewhere.
A bone?
Why? What?
I don't know.
There is the hot
I don't even know where you guys
That was so uncalled for,
You
Zach.
guys
You guys not have to go there.
What?
Oh my God! There's a bone.
There's
You
like
could choke on.
Yeah. Thank you, Amsterdam. Hey, Titans. All right. Figured out my painting schedule and how I'm going to pack my stuff. By the way, I finished painting one Blood Knight Prince and Vampire
Lord on Zombie Dragon. I knew
Everything
it.
else has some paint.
What?
Hey, man.
This is amazing.
It is. The hardest stuff is behind you. I think Blood Knights aren't necessarily easy to paint, but they're not anywhere near as much surface area as a Zombie Dragon. That thing just continues to shock. With
Blood Knights are intense. Mega's been working on hers for a while.
Yeah, they're a lot.
Maybe they're detailed models.
Yeah.
But you can get colors on them if you have an airbrush much quicker than you can paint a Zombie Dragon that doesn't look like poo. Like I can't overstate how much surface area there is on a Zombie Dragon. Have you painted one?
The problem.
You painted one.
The problem. It's the problem that a lot of the older death problems have. So all the Mortarks have this problem as well. Is you have the fleshy parts and then you have the bone parts.
Yep.
So like all my flesh I just kind of did with airbrush, purple and stuff like that. But then going in and having to like by hand do the bone parts.
Yep.
That's like distinct and separate. It does. I know exactly what you're talking
about. There's flesh, muscle, and bone all in the same model.
Yeah.
And the muscle always has bone peeking through.
Yeah.
You always have to. It's just there's so much to that. Yeah. That kid is a nightmare. I mostly finished a Zombie Dragon, but I didn't finish the Zach. It's not done. We're never gonna play it.
Okay. Thank you, Liberty Fires. Whispers. Bridger.
Yep.
I'm excited about World
Zach,
Eaters.
I think
you're not whispering right now.
I'm not going to whisper. But I'm worried they might be too similar to Black Templars.
Do a robot voice, but you can't whisper?
Are my concerns justified?
No, they're not going to be like Black Templars. Black Templars are like word bearers. World Eaters go, ah!
Oh my God, if you shattered it.
Is a vacuum? But it'd be a big bang, probably.
World Eaters go, ah! They should be more like Blood Angels.
Yeah, exactly. They should play like Blood Angels. Which...
It's fine. It's not. Look, we have like 30-something factions in the game. Some of them are going to be similar. Yeah, I know. Crazy.
Like Word Bearers and Black Templars.
Yeah, or Blood Angels and World Eaters.
Or
Space Wolves and Thousands.
No, that was the only one you can't do.
Thank you, Ogre Barbarian. Thanks for the input, Titans. Now let's design a cool-looking Disciples of Be'lakor, starting with Big B and a Knight Abominant. What demons and marines do you include? No marine vehicles.
I don't know if you've seen, a lot of people are talking about Legions of the Be'lakor with Knights, and there's like some cool stuff you can do.
Oh, that sounds intriguing.
Because of the way the rules are written. It's a bit...
Shiesty.
A little bit.
Interesting. So you're knocking out about 400 for the Abominant, 3 whatever it is for Be'lakor. call it 400. So you've got 1,200 points to play with. You have to have one of each before you can have duplicates.
Yep.
Can't have greater demons.
Yep.
I'm a fan of. Well, am I a fan of? In today's meta, is the contorted epitome still worth it?
Look, man, we saw what not being able to fall back does to a man. It can really pull your soul out.
Yeah, I would take her. She's just tough because she can die to like regular stuff.
Yep.
Because she's not that tough.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe that.
Well, the thing with Slaanesh is like, you either take their amazing characters or their very lackluster troops.
So you're going to take their characters. Kind of like lackluster, like the rest of the demon troops.
Yeah, but the amazing characters I think outshine most of what you're going to get from Khorne.
That's fair. Well, so for the troops, I would take a unit of Nurglings.
Mm-hmm.
I would take a cheapo unit of. Oh no, I wouldn't do that. I would take Flamers of Tzeentch. We love them.
They're good.
They're great.
Yeah.
Khorne. I guess Bloodletters.
Yeah, that's kind of the default.
Because you have to.
Yep.
And then. Is that all of them?
That's everything.
So then you can come back around.
Yep.
And take a Herald of Tzeentch.
Okay.
Which gives you a buff for the Deuterinos, the Flamers, but also gives you a mobile Psyker, also potentially for interrogation, war patrol, stuff like that.
Next, would you take another Slaanesh character?
You can't take Greater Demons, though.
But you can take Celestial.
No, I wouldn't take them.
You wouldn't take them?
They're like...
I remember when they were good.
They've always been tough to use, and they're like extra tough to use.
Because they move 6, right?
They might move a little bit faster,
slow.
but they're relatively slow. They don't have fly. I don't know if they have infantry.
They don't.
Yeah.
Dude's jacked.
Well,
He's
the dude
huge.
and another dude on top.
Yeah.
Like, imagine you try to go through the wall. We talked about the gaps in those walls. She just gets knocked off straight, like when you're going through. I don't know. I'm hard pressed for this list. I don't understand it enough, I think. But that's certainly where I would start.
And then what kind of knight?
Well, he's gotten Abominant already.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Nailed it.
Zach. This last one's important.
Okay.
And it's making me hungry.
Thank you again, Martin. A few cues. Zach had the important ones. He's talking about the sandwich. Sliced ribeye in a baguette with mayo and a bit of mustard. I'm in Buckinghamshire.
Buckinghamshire.
We have guns, if we have reason for them. Self-defense, not an accepted purpose.
Right.
Buckinghamshire is very reminiscent of how every place in England is a ham or a shire, sometimes both.
Yeah.
They're like Southampton.
As opposed to Northampton.
There's, well, now I'm just thinking of a bunch of places that don't have these names. But like,
well, there's the one that I'll get made fun of if I say. But
they were so unmemorable, most of these locations, because they were all hams and shires. Yeah. Like every stop in London was just some other ham.
That'd be a great like procedural generator. It's just like England place, name generator. It's like XZ Shire, X Ham Z, Shire, Hampshire.
Yeah, it was a weird place.
Yeah.
That sandwich sounds delicious, and it makes me hungry.
It sounds great. It sounds cold, right? It's cold.
No, I don't
want that to be cold.
I don't think that. No, I don't think that's cold.
I don't want
hot with a baguette.
Yep.
No.
Hot sandwich with mayo and mustard. Yep. No cheese.
Oh, like a coquille.
No cheese.
Yeah, the lack of cheese is what threw me off.
I could do with the cheese on that.
Oh man.
And no mustard. Cheese, no mustard. Keep the mayo.
I want to cook my dam now. Oh.
Yep.
Amazing.
Yep.
Well, guys, we did it.
We did it.
We did it.
We did it.
Well, keep in mind, you guys have a week and a half to get the pre-order on this. It is a bit cheaper, and the stock is going fast. So titansterrain.com. Do check it out if you want to get your hands on it and support us. If you're willing to share it around, that's also just great in and of itself. Thank you for the amazing super chats and questions and all that stuff. We really enjoy it. It's a nice way to decompress after a game.
Yeah, it was fun.
Of course, we have Monday. It's going to be Zach and I duking it out. Daughters of Cain, Night Haunt, usual 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Tuesday, we're going to have a members vote, which we're going to probably figure out right after this because John is busy
winning or losing.
We'll see.
Round 2. I think he won. I think he already won, and it's going to be 85 points.
82 points.
Ah.
Pretty good. Pretty good. And the other guy got 76 points with the card. It's pretty good. Round 3, he's pairing up against.
Pairing's already out?
Yeah, Craft World.
Wow, we've been doing this for a while.
We have. I think you can pull this off. Anyways, Tuesday's gonna be a vote. It's gonna be awesome. Wednesday, me and someone else from Hobby Titans will be.
It's me.
It is you. Okay.
It's me. Kat is busy.
Traveling.
BAO. Yeah.
So we're gonna be working on our BAO stuff last minute. And Thursday, it's gonna be BAO prep at an earlier time. Keep your eyes and peels for that. It's gonna be cool. With that, thank you all so much for hanging out with us. We'll catch you next time on the Tabletop.
Bye.